This is Phil with The Voice Party. This week's episode has been brought to you by All Roads Overhead's Garage Door. Let's be honest, this is the Bay Area. If you even got a garage, you're doing pretty well for yourself. So if you want to upgrade your life, why not start what matters most? The garage door. Upgrade your garage door today and upgrade your life. All Roads Overhead Garage Doors. 510-375-8756. Upgrade your life today.
You got a bunch of lube over there.
I got you. No, I totally knew it was a joke.
Welcome to the Voice Party, everybody.
Welcome to the Voice Party.
We got a very special guest today.
Wait. Are we starting now?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
We just,
I don't know how it works.
sometimes we don't even tell them when we're starting. We just like flip.
It's kind of like when you go to the doctor's office for the first time and they're going to give you a shot and then they distract you. They're like, oh, look, candy. What was that? Nothing. You just got your shot. I didn't feel a thing. I know. Yeah. That's the point.
You know, they'll be talking about like erectile dysfunction or something. I'm just like, welcome to the Voice Party, everybody.
No, I love that you guys are all diverse. I'm all for diversity.
Well, that's what's
So
up.
you have your Latino, your black, and you got your Caucasian. And it's very, very
Multicultural.
universal.
Universal.
There you go. Universal. That's the
Definitely relatable. So
Yeah.
when you have your different people who are listening, okay, like they're all, just the voice.
Yeah.
But now it's visual. You have a little bit of both. It really does inspire a lot of people to be like, oh my God, if they can do it, I can do it,
Agreed.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
think so, yeah.
And you know what? That's actually we're all from Richmond.
Oh, nice.
He looks down at Richmond from his mansion in the El Cerrito.
Oh yeah, he's
Hills.
from Cerrito.
Are you from the hills?
He's got binoculars. So
I
look at
do
this.
not have a mansion. my folks don't have.
There's only 3 bedrooms. That's hardly a mansion.
My best friend lives back in the days. Used to live in El Cerrito Hills, and I always thought she was rich because she was in the hills.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I always felt whoever had an upstairs downstairs were rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as a kid, when I watched Full House, like, fuck you, Dad, I'm going upstairs, and they go upstairs.
Like they must have money. No, that's middle class actually.
When I was a kid, we finally got a 2-bedroom house,
Okay.
but it was through Section 8. But I thought that we fucking made it, man. Like we got out of the hood, and I mean you're still in the hood, but we got a 2-story house. Like we made it.
Right.
That's what I thought as a kid too, because I'm going upstairs to my room.
I don't want to talk about it. He slammed the door and shit.
Man, so you say you're close to 40,
Yeah.
dude? I thought you were way younger, man.
Oh, I get that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
black don't crack.
It really doesn't. But when I shave,
Yeah.
I knock off a couple
Oh,
years.
yeah.
But now that this is growing and shit, I'm trying something new and different. Like I want to be cute.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to be cute, you want to like line it up.
Yeah.
And, go to barbershop, whatever
Yeah.
like that. But I'm really proud of and happy about my age. I wasn't at first. But now I'm like, you know what? Like I'm a whole generation.
It's like wine, man. You get better with time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
and especially with. So we've been friends on Facebook for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I finally went to go see the screening of the film Love, Cecy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that story was kind of close to my growing up. I heard about it a lot, and it's all. I love what you did. You basically took a story that had a really bad everyone talked about it in a very negative way.
Oh, of course.
But watching the movie makes you feel like, man, like
She was a person.
yeah. And you being from Richmond, that you told that you're from Richmond, right?
Yeah. So I was born and raised. I always have to include La Mission from San Francisco. That's where I was born and grew up.
Yeah.
But then I was raised in Richmond.
Okay.
So we came to Richmond right around the time Cecy, when it happened with Cecy.
Right.
So I came here like 93.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And then for a year, I would go back and forth to school. And once the transcripts were transferred to Richmond, then I went to Highland Elementary School.
Okay.
Of course, everyone went to Crestview.
Yeah.
De Anza. Not you. You went to El Cerrito, right?
Kennedy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's even worse. So that's good. So
He went to De Anza.
y'all went to De Anza.
I went to
You
Richmond.
went to De Anza?
I went to Kennedy for a year and went, fuck that. And then
Seriously.
transferred to De
You're
Anza.
probably the only white boy in Kennedy.
There was 4 of us. We used to hang out in the library because they're like, nobody will find us here.
Right. And Richmond High?
Richmond
Yeah,
High,
there you go. It's so... Sorry.
All the Mexicans
it's
went
so...
there.
Of course. But it's so... when you growing up, there's a certain. I know him. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's our other co-host.
Oh my god, I know him.
I think Gasper.
That's why he wanted to be here. He was like, I want to be here for him.
Oh, dude, like we used to act together in college, and then dude, I just found out that
the listeners, Gasper just walked in.
My cousins, you teach their soccers.
Which one's your cousin?
Jeanette Sandoval.
He's talking to Gasper.
Yeah. Jeanette.
Hold on, we're getting a mic.
She has her daughter Paola.
Oh, that's you related?
Yeah.
Paola or Paloma?
Paloma.
Paloma, little girl, right?
The little girl, and she has a sister and a little brother.
Yeah, I coached the little girl too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I saw you in the picture. I was like, oh my god, I fucking know him. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Long time no see.
Yeah, okay.
He's fucking funny, dude.
He is.
Like, all his Facebook posts are stupid as shit, but it's like, wait a minute, it's kind of true. I love your jersey.
Oh, you're into soccer too?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Honduras.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. I get that a lot. But people are like, you're Latino, but you're black. So Afro-Latino. So I have to explain to people.
No, I was gonna ask what like where.
It's like people often forget the slave trade had to stop over in Central and South America too. Hello.
Okay, yeah, you know what's up. Yeah. But growing up, in the Latino my community,
right.
There was never any Afro-Latino.
Yeah.
I think the word Afro-Latino didn't come to the last 10 years.
Right.
So I started the trade of growing up as a kid, confused of what was I. I knew I was Latino, but I knew I was different from everybody else, but I didn't know what I was.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then when we finally had a term for it, people were like, oh, okay, Afro-Latino. But before Afro-Latino, I always got Dominican.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, Cuban, coño, mira, pero, and I had no idea, dude, what Dominicans look like.
Yeah,
because they're all on the East Coast. So I went to New York the first time 8 years ago, and I went to Washington Heights. Washington Heights is like La Mission or 23rd, and they all look just like me, all of them. I actually had a little teardrop. I was like, they're not my people. But
I belong.
I belong. Y'all look like me, but I felt.
I feel like that when I went to East LA. Like, dude, I blend in here.
Oh, for sure. Like, so it's really, really rare you see a lot of Afro-Latinos. Even growing up with a lot of Mexicans, they didn't know what Afro-Latino was.
Yeah.
So they weren't. I mean, they were accepting of me because I knew Spanish, my mom, but if I wasn't Latino, they wouldn't have accepted me. Right, unfortunately, it is what it is. But it's funny because I went to Mexico. I went to Mexico City a few months ago. I was kind of like, oh my god, they're gonna hate me and fucking negros and shit. And they actually loved me. They were like, they weren't afraid of me. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, they're afraid of the wrong people, like the cartels and shit. But 90% of Mexico is Mexico. So 95% of Mexico, and the rest are just like, you'll see like, old retirement white people, or you'll see like Chinos or negros, but they're like visiting, and they looked at me like I was exotic to them. I'm like, oh my god,
he's got colored eyes.
He's got colored eyes. Like, let me touch him. Like
he speaks our language.
So what is he? But I felt so like welcomed. I just fucking love Mexico. I went for the Day of the Dead weekend.
Oh, nice.
Fucking Coco inspired me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went Day of the Dead weekend. I went by myself. Fuck it. You feel me? Life's too short.
And your Spanish is a little Mexican too, so I'm sure
it is. So there is no Hondureño language, because I mean, end of the day, we all speak Spanish, but everyone has their own slang. Right. But I grew up with Mexicans, so
you say pinche a lot, and I know that's like
it's very Mexican. Yeah. So I very familiar with the Mexican culture. Yeah. Growing up, there wasn't an Hondureño Central American culture. Right. Whenever you think of Central American, you think of Salvadorian and pupusas and shit, which is hella good. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we think of Honduras, like where's Honduras and where's that at? So. But my mom always told me, mijo, just always explain to people what it is, so they have an understanding. Yeah. And then I'm really, one thing I want to cut something out. I'm really ashamed of you right now because you're eating Taco Bell. You should be ashamed of yourself. We should go to a fucking taqueria and get some real tacos.
You know what? That's like,
why do you got fucking Taco Bell?
Because we only had like
a budget.
No. We only had like.
I mean, yes, but no.
Yes, and also
very much.
We went. Taco Bell's like 2 minutes away from here, and we didn't. We were like, we had like 10 minutes.
Taco Bell. Okay.
Yeah, so we just wanted to go quick. We want to take your time,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, usually, I mean, I
had we gone to a real taqueria, you'd be like, why are you guys so fucking late?
That's true. Okay, that's true. Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah. So it's quick, and there's no line at Taco Bell because obviously.
Well, Taco Bell.
Look where we live.
Taco Bell's my go-to when I'm drunk.
Exactly.
Never Just to go.
Right, yeah.
But I would definitely go to, fuck yeah, dude. I get the,
It's good. Let's be honest.
It's good. It's good. Okay. Like pizza, but like when I'm on a budget, I'll get not round table. That's when you have a little bit of money. But when I'm on a budget, Little Caesars.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Little Caesars is good.
You get high, you eat all one to yourself. I'm sure you've done that.
Oh no, dude, I can eat a medium to myself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
With buffalo wings.
Now I respect myself more. Now I go to Mod.
Why?
Mod Pizza.
I've never been there.
It's like $3 more. It's a little bit of quality. It's a little bit of quality. It's like Subway, but for pizza.
Yep, they will pack as many toppings as
everything,
you want.
dude.
And they won't charge you any extra. It's the same flat price per pizza.
Oh wow, okay.
You can get your pineapple, bacon, chicken.
I'll check it out.
Pesto sauce fix if that's your
I love
thing.
pesto. Pesto grilled chicken's actually pretty good.
And they have all that, so you can add it all for $8, man.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's a little smaller than the Little Caesars, but you know.
I think Little Caesars is only good for that day. There's no tomorrow.
No,
there's no stealing for lunch. That's it.
That moment only.
Exactly.
These are bad decisions.
In your lowest moments, Little Caesars is there for you and your pizza craving.
Oh no, for real, no.
It turns in the cardboard like after a few hours, dude.
I know, right?
For our Canadian listeners out there,
we have a lot of Canadian listeners.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we do. The Taco Bell reference is at issue because on the West Coast, we have a lot of authentic Latin American restaurants out here in the Bay Area. So it's like, why would we go to?
I will say this though.
Just so
being a Mexican, I typically don't eat out at Mexican restaurants because we cook like I
can see that.
Yeah, I could. I'm not gonna. I don't mean to brag, but I could make some shit that'll.
Oh, sorry.
You don't want to pay for it if you can have it at home.
Exactly. Way better.
No. Because I have a lot of Mexican friends, trust me, and they don't make fucking burritos. That's true.
That's true. I agree on that. But you usually eat burritos when I'm really drunk. So like,
are you one of those?
I'm one of those. Dude. You know what I get when I'm drunk? Like when I'm sober, I'll get like a carne asada burrito. Okay. But when I'm drunk, I ask for chicharrón and tripas on my burrito.
When I'm drunk, dude, like I don't give no fucks.
Yeah.
I want extra crema. You feel me? Like, and then I regret the next morning. Like, oh my god, why did I eat that?
I know.
But
trying to shave to make yourself cuter.
But my favorite go to when I'm drunk, like 3 a.m, like I went to a baile. I like banda.
Oh, nice. Oh, see, that's what
I like banda. So I'm like the only negro that goes there. I hella fucking stand out. It's like no joke, and it's so weird. So
everybody wants to dance with you.
Hey! Sorry, they get all excited like I'm a fucking dog. I'm high, And I'll be hearing that shit. You feel me? And then they be like, oh, I stay negro. Anyway, I saw Jenny Rivera in concert at the Richmond Auditorium. She was there, and I was like the only nigga that stood out. And I was kind of like baffled because I don't say shit when y'all go to a fucking hip hop concert. Let's keep that fucking real. I don't think nobody say shit when someone goes to hip hop concert. It's very diverse.
Right.
I think hip hop music is very diverse to all ethnic. Right. So when you go to a Lil Wayne concert or whatever, no one look at you like, oh, why is a white guy here? But when it comes to rock music or when it comes to country music or Mexican music, let's keep it real. It's usually their own kind, and it's very rare you'll see like a different ethnic. But when it comes to banda, like I really love banda and I just love Mexican music, mariachi, ranchera, all that. And I usually stand out. But when I dance, it's okay.
Right.
I'm good. Or like you're Latino, okay, you're good. It's okay, está bien. But it's never okay if I'm just black,
Yeah.
Or just whatever ethnic. But I feel like you see a lot of these young kids rapping like Mexicans rapping. I have a friend who's Mexican. He grew up in the hood, whatever, but he's straight up like he's black. Let's keep it real,
Yeah.
And he loves rap music.
Yeah.
And I look at his talent. I don't think about him being Mexican. Okay, he's talented, But I've got looks all the time when I go to bailes, all the time.
Or another one is when they bring like Mexican families when they bring either a white guy or a black guy like as a boyfriend. Like
the white guy's always approved.
Is
a negro's negro.
So I grew up a little when I realized this, right?
Grew up a little.
Yeah. So in my family, my female cousins, they love the black guys, and they'll bring black guys. Yeah, they do. All my little cousins, they're all half black, and so. My uncles, they're always gonna get a stare. It takes these black kids a while for them to be accepted into the family, right? If you bring a white guy, there is still a little bit of like, hey, you're not immediately welcome.
You couldn't get a Mexican, like,
but it's not the same, right? Black guys, we kind of hold them to a different standard. I mean,
you bring a white guy home, it's like, well, at least you got good credit.
Yeah. Whether or not
get approved for a loan.
Yeah,
power influence.
So when I went to meet my kids' mom's family, when I went to meet them, there was none of that. Yeah. None of that. There was never like, why isn't he black? Why isn't he this one? None of that. I was very welcome. And I was like, shit, us Latinos, like, we're racist.
Hella eyes would be like,
and we don't admit it. It's
that's the worst part.
We don't talk about it, and so it can't get addressed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually gonna well, I was gonna tell you, I had a horrible experience growing up as a kid. Now I'll make it brief. Yeah. So in high school, I was like the Kina quinceañera. I was every girl's quinceañera. I was everyone's chambelán.
The main chambelán.
Not the main, unfortunately. Fuck them bitches. Fucking
Socias.
I know. Bitch. You stupid bitch. So I was never the main chambelán, but I was always just a chambelán.
Those assholes. Think of the pictures, Mika.
I know, right?
That's fucked up.
I even got one Mexican told me, "Oh, your light skin's okay." Now it's a colorism thing, and colorism is huge in fucking in Latino culture. When you watch novelas, it's like, who's the bad guy? Yep. Who's the maid? Who's the ex-girlfriend? It's just colorism. It's in every ethnic. I think the only people that actually bring up colorism and address it more are black people. Yeah, the light skin, dark skin thing is always an issue, but I feel like even the Filipino culture, the Indian culture, they have special crema just to make you lighter. So it's weird because I get both of both worlds. In the black community, I'm light skinned, but in the Latino community, I'm dark skinned. So I mean, it is what it is. I love it. But anyways, so I was in a quinceañera back in high school. It was my senior year. And Gizabel, she was a light-skinned Latina. She had blue eyes. She looked like a white girl, blonde hair, but she was Mexican. So we were good friends in high school. I was in her quinceañera, and my partner was Daisy. And we got along. We were good. We had quinceañera practice. And I think a week before the quince, Daisy's dad finally showed up to pick her up. And he saw the dance, whatever, and he saw that was her partner. And then he talked to Gizabel's mom and said, I don't want my daughter dancing with a negro. Either you switch partners or I'm taking her out the week before the quince. So then Gizabel told me, hey, this is what's going on. And I was like, what difference does it make? Why does it have to be this way? And I remember going home crying and shit and all, it really affected me even to this day. And I just realized that, you don't know shit about me, but you want to judge me for the color of my skin. And the worst fucking part about judging someone for what they are is if you're gonna make sure your people are great and perfect first before you charge other people. I see plenty of fucking cholos and shit. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Drug dealers and wife beaters. There is no different in every ethnic. I've met plenty of men who beat their wives who are white and black or Asian. Or, my thing is you can't judge a person by their looks or who they are. But you can't judge your own people. Right. And I feel like Mexicans at this point are ever since Trump, keep it real, when Trump came along, you guys been the center of everything, which is very unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, of course, Trump hates everybody else, but his focus was this fucking bridge. There's the wall that he wants to build, and you guys been the focus for the past 4 years, and everyone's losing their green cards, and they can't, just for stupid reasons, et cetera, et cetera. And I just feel should we judge you for that? You know what I'm saying? By this point, I feel like the Latinos need everyone's support. Right. This is the time for us to all get together as a unity, not segregate each other because we're all different. And when you brought up the whole black and different ethnicity, you have to realize that our parents brought us here for a better life. You cannot expect us to be in a world of so much diversity and so much aspirations that you want to stay with our own kind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who wants to eat burritos all their life? I want a fucking cheeseburger, mom. You know what I mean? I want spaghetti. I want to, even people who are Muslim, it's how are you going to find someone who's dedicated hardcore Muslim to take care of you? That's not part of your culture, but you want to find that in the U.S.? The U.S. is supposed to be the land of opportunity and a land of...
the great melting pot.
There you go. So
you brought a good point, man, because I've seen that in someone, I won't say their name, but they're really against Trump and like, oh, we gotta fight so that our kids don't get taken to these camps and blah blah blah, which is cool. Yeah, I support that. But then afterwards, we're like, I saw something in person and like, oh, pinches mayates always come in and do this and like, what the fuck, man? Like, I hate that shit.
I hate that shit. It just, and then they realize like, usually like, for example, like, it'll be their kids who are like the ghetto ones, but yeah, like you brought them up in Richmond. That's the hood. That's their environment. That's where you see a lot of Mexicans say nigga.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
I work for the school district, West WCCUSD, and I noticed that a lot of youth, regardless of color, love to say the N-word to each other because, and my theory is, this is a generation of kids who've grown up universally listening to hip hop, watching street movies, and they notice that when these rappers or these characters refer to each other, even a lot of times warmly, right? Because the N-word often gets used as, instead of saying that's my boy, it's like, oh, that's my nigga over there, like DMX, what my y'all my niggas, so there's this misconception these young people have where it's like, if I use the N-word for my friend, I'm calling him my friend without considering all of the like historical significance of the word and how that is hurtful to many, right? And I've talked to some kids about this, like, oh, I don't mean anything by it. It's just, it's my homie over there. Well, then say homie. Don't use. But then my argument gets deflated because I have an African American student calling their friend a nigga, and it's he gets to. And I just give up.
What's funny is like I've had like when I've grown up in Richmond, like I used to say it to my friends of all races, and sometimes some of my black friends were like, what's up, like, oh shit, all right. So I felt like cool, I could say it,
right?
But it's not. It's once you grow up, like it's like it.
See, that's why me, I got no filter. I call everybody a cracker. Everybody's a cracker.
Yeah, I know.
I called you a cracker this morning when I saw you. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back.
You're not going to offend anybody by calling us a cracker, calling them a cracker.
I mean, as long as I get to be a Ritz, or.
Oh, I love Ritz crackers.
Exactly.
Ritz crackers with Coca-Cola.
Hey, everything with tastes better on a cracker.
I don't want to be saltine, man. It's kind of boring.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you, man, what you answered a lot of this in the Q&A after the film.
Yeah.
But like I was the only one from us that was there. And the story that you covered, like it like if I was thinking about like breaking into like a film, like that sounds like a heavy subject to get into, and the way you are, like you're very, like a bubbly personality, like it's like what made you decide to make a story?
Sorry, which project?
Love Cecy. Love Cecy.
This is your second one, or
the second one? Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. So Amazon.
When is that coming?
Yeah, so Valentine's Day.
Oh, all right.
I want to do a Valentine's Day because
it's gonna be available in Valentine's.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was murdered on March 14th, and I didn't want to do it, release it on that day. I want to release it on a day of love.
Yeah.
Not necessarily has to be, I have a boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other, but Valentine's Day is a value of just love and period.
Yeah.
And I feel like her story is about love. Mm-hmm. The people who loved her, the people, her boyfriend, the community, the people that she loved, and people who didn't know her loved her. So I want to represent that on that special day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna release it on that day. We'll talk about that soon. But there's all types of filmmakers, believe it or not, and as an independent filmmaker, you're allowed to be vocal, and you're allowed to come up with whatever you want instead of opposed of Hollywood. Because when you work for Hollywood, like, you're just a director and they're hiring you to direct their movie,
whatever the topic is.
Yeah. So a lot of these movies that you see nowadays there's not enough passion in it because they're getting hired to direct a film. Therefore, you have to stick to what. So you don't have that much creativity. Mm-hmm. So with Love Cecy, it actually happened like in my neighborhood. I remember when it happened. I remember watching the news. I remember how our neighborhood was extremely like scared and terrified because she was the only girl, even to this day, 26 years later, she's been the only girl that's been raped or murdered in Richmond. The only. Wow. So, and especially the circumstances of her death, being raped or murdered at a elementary school.
Yeah.
That still stands to this day. I mean, they remodeled the school since then, but So her story's been, how do I say without being disrespectful? Like a haunting story, like not a ghost story, but like anyone from Richmond.
I did this thing as a kid where we went to the spot.
Right.
And
yeah.
we would do like little like if you stay here long enough, you might see her. Something.
Right. No. I've heard of it. I've heard of it. I heard stories like, because she was raped and murdered. Like at the time, the front of the school was in the residential area, so she was murdered in the stairwell in the outside.
I lived 3 houses away from.
Yeah. So in the stairwell. So. No one heard her scream, so it's always been Richmond's haunted story, especially for people who grew up, especially people who's in the 30s now. It floors me when you have the newer generation see the film, they know who she was, and like, oh, this happened to her, in our neighborhood. Because let's keep it real, it's been tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of murders in Richmond, and I feel like each victim in Richmond deserves to get their story told.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate that we have so many murders that is to the point where, okay, it's bypassed. It's not, how do I, like Polly Klaas, she was murdered in Petaluma. How many murders happen in Petaluma?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, but with Richmond, I used to be a school teacher. I think when I looked at you, I was like, he looks familiar. So I was a school teacher for 7 years. I worked for the school district as well. I did after school program. I did theater, soccer. Okay. I done it all, and I worked with my community, and I've seen kids, in Richmond who had their brothers murdered, or something happened to their family or their mom or their dad, or et cetera, et cetera. But this story really touched my heart, and it was a story that I really, really wanted to tell because I was so curious to know who she was. By this point, I didn't care how she was murdered or what happened to her. I just wanted to know who she was. And by the grace of God, I'm not religious, but I do believe in faith, and I do believe in things happen for a reason, and I do believe in connections, and I do believe in when things are meant for you, when it's meant for you, you just go along with it. And this whole story, it took 7 years, but this whole 7 years, I just grew so much, not only as a filmmaker, but as a person. I met beautiful people. I met her mom and dad. I met her boyfriend. I met all her best friends. I met people in our city who heard of her story or knew of her, etc. So this was a story that I knew I had to tell. It was meant for me to tell. I felt like she chose me to tell her story. That's how deep it gets. Because when I tell you the circumstances of how I came about it, you'll be like, oh my God. Like after I was done with Sin Padre, my first film, which is on YouTube for free.
I've seen it.
Did you really?
I went to one of your screenings.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So after my first film, we were done filming. We filmed Sin Padre in 7 days. In February of 2012, and we had our world premiere at the San Francisco Latino Film Festival that year, September, and we're up against the movie Philly Brown.
Oh, wow.
Philly Brown's with Jenny Rivera and all, and we sold.
Phillips,
So we sold out. That year, I believe, on Thanksgiving, my cousin came up to me. She was all like, "Okay, so when's your next movie?" Oh my God, I wasn't thinking about anything at that point, and I remember I said, "I'm gonna do a movie about the girl from Downer." And I don't know why I said it, but I just said it. Yeah. And she was like, "Are you really?" And I was like, "Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah. I guess I want to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it." She's like, "Okay." And that Monday, I did old school style. I went to Richmond Library, and, of course I Googled her name. Nothing popped up.
Yeah.
I went to Richmond Library. I told them the date that she passed, and I wanted some newspaper articles. So that they gave me like these films that you plug into the thing and you rewind it, and hella old school. And I remember just
like in detective movies when
they're doing their research.
Yeah, research and shit. And so I started from there, and it just, the ball kept rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. And her house is like 2 miles away, not 2 miles, but where she was murdered. Where she's buried at, her resting place, is 2 blocks from my house.
St. Joseph.
Yeah, just everything just kept coming together, kept rolling and rolling. And there were times I wanted to give up. There were times I didn't think I can do it. There were times where I didn't get enough support. There were times where it's more like, okay, Jay, you want it. These are circumstances to something like, if it was Hollywood does it for you.
Yeah.
If I was a director, they'll give me everything I need and I'll just direct it. But because this project was so intimate and personal, I had to personally be involved. You know, I had to get the parents' permission and get their blessing. That was fuck, dude. I was like,
that must have been
nerve-wracking.
Oh, dude, like, and how I went about it was kind of like, I remember.
That's like guerrilla filmmaking, man. Like that's straight up hardcore. Like it's
living the dream.
Like you're not only are you doing the film about it, you're like digging up the story because it's not like a book you could read.
No. I mean, especially there's no everyone has easy access now with Google.
Yeah,
but you have to realize that her story never left Richmond.
Right,
never. You have to realize that she was murdered on a Tuesday. She was murdered on a Tuesday. Her mom found her body on a Wednesday. They had a memorial for her on a Thursday at the school. The killer got turned in on a Friday, and she was buried that Tuesday.
Wow.
So, but I didn't know this. I thought like it took months for him to find him. It was literally that fucking week. You can only imagine like the whole process of it. And but I remember how I met her parents. Like, so by this point, I think I was 2 years into it. When you approach someone like this, like their family, or any family that's why a lot of these Hollywood movies are flops, these remakes, because you're not getting the blessing of the family.
Right.
Like Selena, it was successful because the parents were involved. They were behind the scenes, and the movie with Aaliyah and Whitney Houston was just like, it didn't work for Lifetime because none of the family were part of it.
Yeah.
So by this point, it was like maybe 18 years since she had passed away. None of her friends and family kept in touch after her murder. So the family had moved to Vacaville. And back then, Vacaville was like, where's that at?
Yeah.
Now we all know where Vacaville is at, right? So I remember, by the grace of God, it was so weird. I had a good friend of mine who's a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. I said, look, I'm looking for these parents. Here's her name. Here's her last name. I know they live in Vacaville. What can you do? I don't know if I can do it, Jack. I can get in trouble. And it's like, just
turn to a private investigator.
So she did a huge favor for me, and she gave me a call. Here's the address. Good luck.
You didn't get it from me.
she did get it from me,
right?
And
you found this.
Then I remember telling. So the only way I can do it if the best friends come with me,
right? Yeah.
And the boyfriend.
Yeah.
So that way when I approached them at the house, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, we know who they are.
Yeah.
Know who I remember I said, okay, we're going to do it. I think it was July 10th. It was on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do it on a weekday because that way they're home. And I remember going to the cemetery that day, and I sat there with her tombstone, and I remember crying and getting all emotional. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Can I do this? I know I can do it, but I don't know if I can do this. And I remember her telling me, I got you this far. At this point, it's pretty much my mom and dad's like decision. Right. So I remember we drove to Vacaville. They were scared because they haven't seen them in 18 years. I'm scared because I never met them. I had no idea what they look like, let alone, meeting them. So you get to Vacaville. No one was home, so it was hot as fuck. So we ended up going to Yumbo Youth.
Yeah. Yumbo Youth.
You know, Yumbo Youth. And then I remember the mom pulled up at the house.
Yeah.
And then we knocked on the door. The mom approached us. She remembered the two girls, the two best friends, and she was so welcoming. She said, hey, how are you? Welcome in. I mean, I could have been the boyfriend, or I could have been just chilling, whatever.
Vienes a bailar.
Yeah, I know. So we end up, the mom loves to dance.
Yeah.
So, the mom loves to dance, which is a plus.
Okay.
So we end up, I remember turning the corner in the living room, and there was her big quinceañera picture, smiling.
Yeah. The one in her grave, right?
Yes. I felt like she was smiling at me. All right, Jay, this is it, type of thing. It's weird. So we sat down for like an hour. And then the mom was aware of me that wanted to make a movie. I had people approach her.
Oh yeah, okay.
She was aware of it, but she never wanted to. But mind you, I've been 2 years deep in, and if I'm gonna make this movie, I need their permission. If not, I mean, I could have done it without their permission, but they wouldn't have been intimate.
Yeah.
And I'm a very intimate, personal individual. I'm a very emotional person, so I wouldn't like it if my daughter had passed away and you made a movie about my daughter and I'm not involved. It's very disrespectful.
Especially with the way
it happened. And if you think about it, I'm digging up a grave all over again, emotionally. Yeah. So I ended up just meeting the mom, and it was going towards a no. And then I met the dad. I was scared because, you know how Mexican dads are.
Yeah.
But
¿Qué quieres, güey?
So the dad he was so fucking funny, dude. Yeah. He was a sweetheart. He was so outgoing and spontaneous. And So we got there at 3:00. We left at 1 a.m.
Wow.
Where they can talk.
Yeah.
The parents love to talk, and that's what I love about them. So I finally got their blessing and their permission, and that's when the ball started rolling. And I remember going to their house every weekend. They had a suitcase with all her personal intimate items. Mm-hmm. They had her quinceañera video. They had I was scared to watch that. I had to convert it. I had no damn VCR, so I had to convert it to a DVD. Her perfume, her diary, her report cards, her essays, and just went through it and
got a feel for who she was.
Oh, dude, yeah, and it really helped my story.
I didn't know you did all that. Wow.
Oh yeah. So I took her diary with me, and every poetry or everything she wrote, she always ended with "Love, Cecy." So that's how I came up with the idea for the title of the film. Once I got to know the family and who she was, I decided to go with a different route. It wasn't like she lived a perfect life, dude. Like there was nothing I can grab from her story besides, but there was nothing I can grab to make a story out of it. God, I didn't want to focus on her murder. I had to focus on something.
Yeah.
But mom and dad were together. They're still together,
still alive?
Still alive.
Oh.
They came from Mexico to San Francisco, and they went back to Mexico to have her, and they came back. They lived literally a perfect life. There was nothing I can grab from that family to tell a story. Usually true stories, there's always going to be some drama or whatever, but there's no drama to work with. So I ended up building the story around her boyfriend, who was a Soreño.
Yeah.
At the time. So, okay, now I got something, to work with. So I ended up making it the film surrounding him and her. He was a Soreño. He was like the big giant Cholo gang member
from Richmond.
And she was more like the sweetheart, straight A student, the straight A fucking student.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, why are you with him for? There was something about him that intrigued her to him, and it just wasn't. I mean, at 15, there's so much you can grasp, but they were together for 2 years. She literally changed his life. He graduated high school, and the issues that he had with his gang and etc. That's what brought them together. So I kind of focused the movie and shifted in that direction.
Like a love story. It wasn't like a crime story. It was a love story.
No, it was a love story. I know a lot of people in our community was looking forward to the crime because that's what everyone was considering.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about it.
Yeah. But I remember I wanted to film at Richmond High, and they turned me down like twice. Yeah. It was a fucking process. At that point, I want to keep it really authentic, like film at Richmond High. Yeah. I had to write to the school board and had 5 meetings, and I remember they filmed the movie in Richmond High recently. The little kid with the kicks. There's a scene in the movie where someone's getting the head outside the school, but I can't.
Yeah.
And I remember Kicks, and they actually had permission from the WCCUSD school district to film in Richmond High.
Yeah.
This was the difference from my film and Kicks' film. The difference from my film is like they didn't want to be involved. They didn't want Richmond High named in the movie. If you watch Kicks, which I did, great movie, they don't mention Richmond High.
Right, they don't.
They don't.
You just see lockers
in school, and that's it. Right. But I was going to mention Richmond High.
Right. What school was it that you filmed in then?
Okay, so I did it guerrilla style.
Oh, okay.
We filmed at a different school interior.
Oh, okay.
The inside.
Yeah.
And then the exterior was at Richmond High. I don't give a fuck. I'm stoned. I mean, if I can't
savage.
If I can't go inside, I'm gonna film outside. Yeah. I can film outside.
Oh, there you go.
But then I was really upset.
And besides, our district doesn't have enough money to sue you. You're safe.
No, I knew that. I actually had a lawyer. I had a lawyer that I was able to work with, and he made sure that this is what you can and can't do.
Right, yeah.
And the exterior of any city you go to, it's open to the public.
Right.
It's what's inside. You can't, that's where it lies. If you really want to film inside the school. But then at that point, I thought about, what? I'm not making this movie for Richmond. I'm making it for the whole entire world. No one's gonna fucking know what Richmond High looks like. You know what I mean? So what difference does it make? So I thought about that mentality. Okay, you know what? Fuck Richmond. I don't need your high school. I'm gonna fit. Actually, we never. Here's the funny part. We never set foot on the property. We had a drone that went around the school.
Oh, nice.
Big middle finger to y'all. Then.
So we had a drone, and I saved my ass. I ain't got no money to be paying people back being sued and shit.
Oh,
so I really saved my ass. I knew what was I allowed not to allow to do, but we just had our drone around the school.
Wow. Okay.
And then there's a charter school. It's not there anymore. There's a charter school right by the YMCA. There's a school next door. It's a charter school. It's Making Waves Academy.
Oh yeah.
So they built that school, but before the school they built next door was a small little school, and that's where it was.
Oh, okay.
And we actually we filmed there for they gave us 1 day.
One day?
We had 9 hours.
Oh damn!
Wow. Make it work, and we had like hella scenes to film and shit, and a lot of scenes to film. But the process of this film, it took about 7 years. There were times where I just wanted to give up, dude. I didn't think I can do it anymore. I was like, I got too emotionally involved, and financially, I wasn't getting the support of the city. I mean, of our community. Mm-hmm. Like, people are so desperate to know her story, but don't want to pitch in. And I hate fucking begging. I call it begging. I don't like doing GoFundMe accounts. I don't like doing that. I really don't. Right. I grew up. My mom raised me as if you want something done, you do it yourself, and whatever. So I ended up going out of pocket for the film. I have no regrets. You have to think about it. Like, I dug a grave. Let's just keep it real. I dug a grave. Yeah. And by this point, the whole family were supporting me. I never asked for nothing for the family or the friends. All I wanted was just support. That's all I wanted was just support. And so I tried the whole GoFundMe thing. Not GoFundMe. It was a site.
Indiegogo.
Not even that. I don't believe in giving shit away.
Okay.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving prizes and $20, you get a t-shirt.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Anytime you're, like, investing, like, you're kind of a slave to your investors. Because if they're giving you money, they want something in return.
Oh, no. I get it.
If you're paying out of pocket, you have, like, total creative freedom. You don't owe nobody nothing.
But this is the thing. Now, if I was doing, like, a regular movie, not a true story, okay, I don't mind. I really actually don't mind doing the whole Indiegogo. But because it's a life story, this is someone's legacy I have a legacy in my hand.
A big responsibility.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she had no legacy. The only legacy she had was within her friends and family. Mm-hmm. She didn't have a legacy. Her murder story never left Richmond. Yeah. At the time of her murder, there was a little white girl named Polly Klaas, who was from Petaluma, who was kidnapped and murdered. And around the same time, her story went like nationwide, like Time Magazine. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying her story was less. It was still sad. It was still heartbreaking. It should have never happened to both girls. But because of the circumstances of each city, it took a toll on the other.
Because it happened so much in Richmond.
It happened so much. And plus, she had a boyfriend that was in the gang. That kind of killed it. You know what I mean? Kind of like ruined the reputation of it. And the rumors of being a red bandana on her body. And just a lot of shit that went down. The speculations of her murder. People just, it's just another Richmond murder.
Right.
Like the movie Coach Carter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a Hollywood movie. Yeah. They didn't fucking film in Richmond. Yeah. They changed the Eagle. It was the Kennedy Owls. Is that what it was in the movie?
Yeah. They Richmond looked a lot like Pinole in that movie.
Yeah, I remember.
Pinole looked a lot like Richmond. There's a scene I think where they're like in Pinole or Albany somewhere, and they're supposedly at a store, and then they end up in some sort of conflict. And I'm like, that's not Pinole. That actually looks more like Richmond than Pinole. And I don't know. It's crazy. I'm like, what do we need Sam Jackson for? The real Coach Carter lives right down the street.
Surprisingly, I saw the movie in theaters, and I remember being so upset about
L.A.
We finally get our film about us. Yeah. Finally, about Richmond, rare. And y'all can't even fucking film in Richmond. I don't know. I mean, they got money for the permits. Yeah. And I think what it was, they wanted to film. Of course, every film has a schedule. I think Richmond High, where they said yes. Mm-hmm. To film in the school. The difference was that they only allowed to film the school during the summer. But their schedule was like from September to December. Yeah. And that's during the school year. Yeah. So that's why it didn't work. So they ended up going to another school, whatever. Mm-hmm. I would have just been like, just wait. Be more patient, if you want the authenticity of a real story. But that's what happened with Hollywood. You have a schedule, you have a budget,
release dates,
the release dates and shit. So I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I think it was successful. It was actually really good movie. Now, if I was from New York and I wouldn't give a fuck if it was filmed in Richmond. I wouldn't give a fuck what the film was. It was a really good movie. But from us who've seen the movie, this is our hometown, this is our city, we were affected by it. Like, this is fake as fuck, whatever. So filming in Richmond was really, really important to me. And it makes the film more authentic. I also had to go through, like, 2 different decades. I had to go. I mean, I grew up in the 90s.
The music was spot on though.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I remember those parties, so I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Right, back in the days, I was like 9 years old when it happened. So it was my era, but it wasn't my era.
Right,
as a teenager, my era was more late 90s, early 2000s. And by then, the music has changed, etc. Yeah. But back those days, it was like freestyle music, the Cholo music, whatever.
Yep. Stevie
B and Sweet Sensation. Yep. I'm hooked on you. I need it. So
I remember the parties.
So the film was very, very authentic. Like I said, I ended up going out of pocket for the film. No regrets. It was totally worth it. After we filmed the movie for 3 months. In the real world in Hollywood, we would have been done in a month if we filmed every day. Yeah. But because, we film on weekends, people have 9 to 5s, and unfortunately I wasn't able to pay like my actors, whatever. It just the circumstances you gotta go through to make a good film or a film. So after filming in 2014 of August, I had a breakdown, emotional. I went to the hospital for 3 days. Oh dang! It was nothing but Cecy for that 5 years. Cecy, every day. My life consumed Cecy and her life story and the film, getting it done. My crew was wonderful, but my producer was really extremely hard to work with. We just didn't see eye to eye to things, and I felt like everyone was against me when I'm trying to do a good thing, So I'm learning that now. Each film you do, I had a great experience making my first film. I didn't have a great time making Love Cecy. I'm going to keep it real with you. I felt more creative and more on hand editing the film instead of being on the set, if that makes sense. So I just, the thing working with the producer and DP, they were directors as well. So they had their visions. So now I know for my next movie, I need to work with a DP who's not a director. You know what I mean? Just focus on what, but I'm a very on-hand person. If you have ideas, I'm all for it. But I don't like being thrown at, this is what we're gonna do. No, tell me how are we gonna do it and see if it's gonna work, and then let's collaborate, not just
orders.
So it was extremely hard to work. It was not a group effort. I believe my producer and my DP were They're wonderful. They worked hard. Don't get me wrong. I would never take that away from them. They were wonderful. They brought life to my film, but they were extremely hard to work with. Yeah. So that and the community and just everything around me, my hairdresser got my fucking nerves. It was like there were times where I'll cry on the set in the bathroom. It's my first time ever speaking about this. I'll just cry in the set just to like get it out and just go back in there and just get it working. And so after that was done filming, I missed Jay. I missed me so much. I missed going out. I miss fucking going to the movies. I miss
dancing.
I just miss like everything that I dropped to make this film. And I end up going to the hospital for a couple of days. I had to start over, like a start button, like a reboost, I hear your mom in the background.
I know. About that. Family. There's a family going on next door.
So I needed a reset button, like major. So we didn't end up finishing the film. I really need a break. So 2015 of January, we filmed the murder scene, the last scene. Yeah. So we ended up filming that the last, and then I went straight to editing. I had an amazing editor. I fucking love. We got along. Our personalities clicked. We clicked. He gave me what I wanted. I'm not the type of person like we do it my way. I'm very much a collaborator that helps anyone. I'm pretty sure you have to have your own what you do and don't do, but I'm pretty sure it works for you guys. Yeah. So my editor, we edited in 3 months. I didn't want to put it out yet. I just really wanted to focus on really putting the film. Because about this point, I had the trailer out. The trailer was out, and I got a DM from this guy, this Dominican guy from New York. The fuck is talking about? It's from New York. He messaged me. He says, "Hey, I saw your trailer. Your film looks good. is it out yet? I said, no, I'm still working on it. And he was all like, I was like, why? Like, who are you? Like, by this point, I got a lot of people asking when's it coming out. I thought he was one of those people.
Right.
And I was like, no, we're still working on it. He said, oh, do you think you can have it ready in a couple months? I'm like, what the fuck? But you won't. No, it's not out yet. And he was the president of the HBO Latino Film Festival in New York. Fuck, dude. I was like, bro, it's coming soon. And let me get he changed up quick. Real quick. I go on this. On Facebook, I have like directors, writers, producers, editors all over the world. You just never fucking know, dude. I don't keep my shit personal, just friends and family. I'm friends with anybody in the industry. That's obviously right. So he said our festival's in October. Do you think you can get it ready? And he said in the meantime, can I see a rough cut? Show him the rough cut. He said, I fucking love it. Can you get it ready by October? I was like, yeah. So we ended up having a world premiere in New York.
Nice.
And we had like a month and a half to get it together. By this point, it was already done, but we had to put the music and all that stuff together. Yeah. We ended up, the whole cast and crew ended up flying to New York.
Nice.
I was kind of scared because like I have no connections in New York, so I wasn't sure how we were going to promote it. But we got to the movie theaters and went up the escalator, and there was a line around the corner. I was like, oh my god! And I remember I kept the low key. I wore a T-shirt that says "Love Cecy" with her picture on it.
Yeah.
And I was on the red carpet, whatever. And then people were like, like, I thought you were wearing a suit. I was like, I'm here for her. It's not the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to represent. She's the reason why we're here. She's the reason why we're all here. And I'm walking the red carpet for her, and I'm here to represent her. So she's with me. I even got her name tatted on me.
Oh, no.
So for personal reasons, a lot of people don't know about it, but for personal reasons, like I said, through the whole 7-year process, I was able, I gained a brother, which is her boyfriend Julio. We're like this. We're really, really close, extremely close. We have our ups and downs. He gets my fucking nerves, but I love him.
He's friends with my cousins that I went to.
Oh, nice. Okay,
I have a connection to this too. Okay. I'll wait to.
Okay, tell me later in a little bit.
Yeah.
So me and Julio, surprisingly, we end up becoming brothers. He's my brother. I love him to death. He invited me to. He opened his home to me. The mom and dad, Cecy's mom and dad, they opened their home to me. They welcomed me with open arms. They love me. I've grown as a person with this project. I've grown to be patient, to be organic, to be not just as a filmmaker, but to grow and tell good stories. Because there's no way to make a story out of something like this, to keep it real with you.
Yeah.
How much, you're 15 years old. How much can
you...
what can you tell? How many? So
how to turn it into a love story,
or anything?
Romeo and Juliet, they were just kids.
You know what I'm saying? And with Love Cecy, I did, even though it was a love story between her and her boyfriend. If you've seen the movie, I included everybody. Her best friends, her mom and dad. I made sure everyone had a scene with her. I didn't want to make this about them.
Right.
Because everyone that I interviewed, they all had some special connection with her, and I didn't want to take that away from nobody. So I wanted to get everyone their love for her in the film. Even filming the murder scene, I remember asking the mom and dad permission. I said, look, I know this is a tough subject, but I think if we film it in a way where it's appropriate.
Yeah.
And the mom's like, I don't know, mijo. But I was like, just trust me. So the way we filmed it, it was very, if you've seen the murder scene, the mom had found her body. In reality, she was nude.
Right.
But in the film, no, I kept her clothed. You know what I mean? And the shots were tight, like in her face. It wasn't like, how Hollywood would have done it. And
I want to ask something about that. Did you Did you get police records and stuff for that scene, or did you talk to the person, the killer? Did you just kind of went with what you heard?
So,
because that's a heavy thing.
It is heavy, and I knew that's something that had to be brought up in the film. There's no way to go around it.
Right.
I remember I wanted to interview the killer. Oof. I really wanted to interview him.
Did you get a chance?
As crazy as that sounds, I really wanted to interview him. I remember going through all the newspaper articles and trying to figure out where they placed them. They kept saying just state prison. That could mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I shot for 2 months. I went to San Quentin. I couldn't get a hold of him through the phone, so I actually went to San Quentin in person, tried to get direct. But his name was so fucking common, you know. There's probably millions who would, you know. Yeah. So nobody. So he didn't go to San Quentin. I found him in Folsom Prison.
Oh wow.
He was in Folsom Prison. But unfortunately, actually no, it's not unfortunately. It is what it is. He committed suicide. In prison in 2000.
I dated someone related.
Wow.
In 2000. Yeah. So he was only there for 4 years, maybe 5 years before he. Yeah.
How long was he supposed to be there?
Oh, life.
Life
in prison. So he was convicted in 95. And then he committed suicide. I believe in 2000.
Well, better to remove himself from the board and decrease the surplus prison population than continue wasting my tax dollars.
Exactly. As crazy as this fucking sounds, dude. Like, I just wanted to know his mindset. Yeah, that's all. I wasn't trying to get to know him.
I already glorify him at all.
No. You know, I think some people asked me after the film, why didn't you tell his story? I mean, first, it's not even about him.
I like the way you did it, yeah.
It was never about him. But then again, it's like, you don't want to leave the audience, like, clueless. Mm-hmm. So what I did was, the scene in the movie where they're on a double date and they use the bathroom, and that was true. Yeah. All that's true. Yeah. All that's just true.
I heard stories about him because, like I said, I dated someone related to him.
Oh, okay, yeah, tell me that a little bit. I'm going to finish this part. But the movie, I would say it's 95% true. Yeah. The only 5% I would say would be what do I say? How should I say it? The teacher in the film. Yeah. Remember that part? Yeah. I'm pretty sure she had a good teacher, but I had to keep a flow.
Right. Yeah.
As a storyteller, you have to like add some shit to make it work and make it flow.
Yeah. Bridges to the story.
So her cousin Blanca told me like he was there, he listened in, he saw us, and so I decided to, since he's listening on their conversation, he's really looking at her. Yeah. Why not just add a part where they're talking about her quinceañera and him vision that he's there?
Oh yeah.
Can you remember in the film like
that makes sense now.
Right.
I was.
A lot of people didn't get it. Yeah. A lot of people didn't get it. I was like, fuck. But there's a part where she talked about the quinceañera. So instead of talking about it, he visualized it like he's there. Yeah. So in the movie, he's walking around in the quinceañera, and everyone, of course, no one sees him, but.
He's like Michael Myers in the first Halloween, where he's just like the shape. He's just like, that's how it felt like.
Okay, good.
And that's good because it's like, you know, you don't want to know what's going
to happen.
Because him, it's like,
because I know he was. I knew he was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
He was obsessed with her. I actually met his stepmom.
Okay.
That brought him over here. The stepmom wanted to talk to me, so it just got too deep. Yeah. I was like, what am I getting myself into? So I knew that he was obsessed with her. I knew that he really, really liked her. He never officially met her. Like, hey, how are you? Up until the day of her murder. I knew that there were several attempts for her to go pick up the movie. There was a movie that she was supposed to pick up.
Menace to Society.
Menace to Society. So even that made it worse for the news. We all knew what that movie was about. Yeah. So he actually... so he was obsessed with her, you know. It wasn't planned, but it was out of nowhere. It was more of an opportunity because the time that he saw each other, they were never alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the only time they were actually alone is when he approached her.
That was the first time.
That was the first time ever. Yeah.
That's a scary story too. Yeah. Like having like women in your life and like how dudes could get really crazy obsessed and.
But back in the days, it was normal to walk through Downer.
Yeah.
Through what I found out, I actually talked to the cop who was on the case.
Oh wow.
So I wasn't able to get I was able to get his transcript.
Yeah.
Of what happened, how it went about. So whatever you see in the film, I just took from the transcript and just the way he approached her, like I saw your boyfriend after school, and you know, and so everything that you see in the film, it's what really happened.
Yeah.
So it made it more authentic. So I really digged into like getting the transcripts. So I was able to get to know him that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, that's all a span of 7 years.
Yes.
7 years.
So I'm finally done with it, obviously, but we had our 2-year run and film festival.
You went everywhere to show it, right?
Yeah, dude.
You went to, I heard you said Italy?
Went to Italy, Spain, New York. Wow. I asked Texas twice. I went to Texas. You know, I love Selena.
Yeah.
So we're in San Antonio. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to Corpus Christi right quick. A 2-hour drive.
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. Miami, Long Beach, LA, San Francisco.
With it being like a Chicano film, did you get like a lot of like?
I didn't want to be Chicano.
But if I'm sure
of
people
course,
ask
yeah.
you like, is it a Chicano film or what is it?
I get asked that a lot actually.
Yeah.
It's a universal film.
It's a universal film.
I met plenty of people who lost their kids, and they were black, white, Asians.
Yeah.
I don't specify her ethnic in the film.
Yeah.
It's we visually we know she's Latina.
Yeah.
But I don't say she's Mexican. It's not a Mexican film.
Right.
Now, when it comes to the gang affiliations, were you did you embrace the whole, all right, it was a red bandana, boyfriend bang blue? Did you show that, or did you go with like, or did you not address that at all? Like in the movie?
It was kind of hard not to address it because that was part of what you see in the newspapers and articles. If you were to Google her name now, by the grace of God, you know, she's all over the place because of the film. Yeah. But before that, it was just a couple articles, and that was her main subject, was that the red rag and the Sureños and all things. So it was a gang. It was even though it was not gang related, and it seemed to come off that way.
Try to frame it as
the Norteños, Sureños weren't against each other at that point. They were with each other. Like, we will never do this. We know you wouldn't do this, but who's doing this type of feel? So when Julio, her boyfriend, told me about this whole story, as much as they hated the other side, they got together. You know, they actually came to her visual at the school. Yeah. Dude, I have I want to say 4 hours of news footage.
Wow.
And I remember her mom and dad gave me her quinceañera. You know what a quinceañera? Yeah.
Did they ask for it back?
What's
the parents, like the stuff they gave you from her, like the...
No, I mean, it wasn't me to keep. No.
Oh, okay,
no.
Okay.
But the quinceañera, it was on VHS, so I had to convert it to a DVD.
Oh, okay.
That was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I got emotional watching that because I knew she had 5 months to live. So her quinceañera was in October. She was murdered in March. So
I'm gonna be honest, I had to walk out.
Oh wow!
The film because it recently had someone pass, and just seeing like the scene where the I had to like. Okay. That's a powerful film, man.
No, thank you.
That's why I really wanted to talk to you.
No, I appreciate it. No, so when you're watching her quinceañera, she's getting ready. She's at the park taking pictures. She's dancing with her boyfriend. I know from the outlooker that she had 5 months to live. I know that all the smiles in that room is going to be, it's going to be gone in 5 months, So, and when I saw her quinceañera, I was like, okay, great, opening the movie. 'Cause at 15, you don't have much to accomplish, I think. So to have her quinceañera coming out, I felt like she had a chance to experience that before she passed. She had the chance to experience love. I've never been in love before. And she got a chance to experience that at 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Age, there's no age when it comes to love. But the fact that she died at a short age, she was able to experience something,
Made a big impact on everyone around her, too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the movie went all over the world. Spain, we had the Grand Jury Award in Mexico City. We were in Tijuana. Ohio, fucking Ohio. I think in 2 years we did about 30 film festivals. Wow! And I felt so accomplished. That's all I wanted. That everyone know who she was and her story. And I felt like I've done everything I can to succeed what I need to succeed in. And now everyone knows who she is. And I feel blessed and honored. I was able to give her parents that. And I feel like she always had a legacy. I'm not gonna say she never had a legacy, but now her legacy has grown. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So how I keep now that film's done and over with, I'm honoring her in my special way. So there's in the Mission in San Francisco, there's Walk for Rape.
Okay.
And for victims of rape and etc. So I did it last year the first time and it was amazing. And so I'm gonna do it every year.
What month is it, or what?
I think the month of April.
April?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think April is Awareness Women Month.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So it's for victims who are raped, and you just walk 2 miles in the Mission, and someone represent her that way.
Nice.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's so you and now like we talked about it. Now it's gonna be in Valentine's Day is going to be on.
Yeah, so we're gonna put it on Amazon Prime, and iTunes, I believe. Netflix is gonna take a little more longer. You need like a distribution, not distribution, but you need like. I got a friend who put her independent film on. It's coming on. Her film's coming on Netflix. She hired this company that hooked it up, and they get a percentage or some shit. So I think I'm gonna go that route as well on Netflix as well. It sucks. Like a lot of people were asking for DVDs, and no one's doing DVDs or Blu-rays.
Except for me.
No, I love my Blu-rays. Yeah. The reason why I buy my Blu-rays and DVDs is the special features. Yeah, you can't get that shit on fucking.
And then also, think about like when license starts to expire, and then think about ahead of time. Like digital media is very sensitive.
Yeah, it is.
Right? You can find a 100-year-old movie that's still on film, and if it's been preserved correctly, you can still watch it. Yeah. If your hard drives get damaged, there goes all your work.
That's true. Backups, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know, Blu-ray wouldn't be a bad way to preserve a movie. I mean, you know, only high-profile Hollywood movies make it onto Blu-ray. But yeah, whatever you can do to preserve your work,
stick it in the cloud.
Yeah, I'm still old school.
You got VHSs, huh?
I still do. I still.
Did you shoot the movie on film?
No, we filmed it on digital.
Okay, you said old school. I'm like, how old school are you?
We use Black Magic.
Expensive.
Black Magic. So we use Black Magic to film the film. I didn't want it to be so crisp, and so I told my editor, here's a movie, Mi Vida Loca, here's Blood In, Blood Out. See how old school and crisp it is? I want it to look like that. I want my audience to walk into 1994.
Yeah.
I hate when I see films that are so digital. Not digital, what's the word I'm looking for?
Polished.
They're too clean.
Too clean. It takes away the era that I'm supposed to be in. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I saw Once Upon a Hollywood, I saw it in 35 millimeter. The movie we know is the vintage is 70s.
Yeah.
So when I saw it in 33 millimeter, it had a crisp and the little, you know, I was like, oh, it's like, fuck, I'm in the 70s, it's great, you know. And then I saw it again, high def. I was like, okay, no.
See, QT is one of those guys that's like, no, I want my stuff to look.
It's something of the nostalgia of it too, right?
Oh,
That's what it,
If so, I mean, one time I saw a movie in film, it was in one of my classes. We shot our project in film, and then we showed it. We actually put the film on the projector, and I was so impressed. Like the colors that film can capture, digital does not compare.
Really?
Yeah. So when you watch these old movies, they do have their own look. Old. I mean, if you go into the early 2000s, they were still doing film. Yeah, they have a very different look from digital. Some movies can kind of look like film, but
a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of color correction. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot through editing. I was with usually in Hollywood. Okay, in the real world, I always say the real world. You give your film to the editor, and that's it. Half the time, the director's not there because the company's not paying you for that.
What did you edit in?
Oh, Pro something or. Pro.
Final Cut?
The Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro.
Was it Premiere? I think it was Premiere or Final Cut Pro, but the high one. He bought it, so it's really, really expensive. But because my editor wasn't there on set, he had to visually I could just give him the movie and you deal with it. Here's the script. You know, I wanted to be hands on. There are certain parts of the film that, I think that's how we built our relationship. You know, that's how him and we were close. For 3 months, 3 days a week, you know, getting this film done. And I love him so much, he's going to edit my next movie. So,
there you go.
Mm-hmm. So you said, I remember, are you already starting?
Yeah, so I'm writing right now.
Oh, you're writing?
Yeah, I had to do a year of research first.
Okay.
I'm done with research. This particular film...
Another true story?
No, thank God. I'm so happy.
You're going to go through that again, man?
I know.
You really don't have anyone to uphold you now.
Right.
What you want.
Thank you. Yeah. With this film, I can still be...
Creative control?
Yeah. But the community is a real life community. Right. So it's semi true. It doesn't make sense.
I see what you're saying. Like you have an actual source to get material from, but it's not an actual story that you have to hold true, right?
No, the story that I wrote is not true, but the community that revolves around the story is.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
it's real.
It's real. So you want to keep it as real as possible because these are my audience.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fucking filmmakers don't realize, like, surprisingly, Coco was really good.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was good because they had Mexican people actually work on it.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like the movie Ninja Turtles, I didn't care for it because it wasn't my era.
The new one?
The new one.
Okay, not the old.
It's cute for the kids now to see it.
I didn't.
But back in our days,
Yeah.
the actual costumes, like, fuck, like, it was so real.
It's funny because they have them on Netflix right now. The first two.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
those
they
are
do.
Those are the
great,
best
man.
ones.
Those are the.
I hated part 3.
Oh,
yeah, everyone did.
Yeah.
But going to what you were saying, it's kind of like in Black Panther.
Yeah.
How like there's part of it takes place in Oakland, and if you're from here, everybody's like, "Hey, Oakland."
Yeah.
And Ryan Coogler's from out here, so it has that authenticity
all
to
his
it.
films are in Oakland. Ryan Coogler, I met him a couple of times.
From Richmond, right?
He's from Oakland.
Oakland,
He's from
okay.
Oakland. But he's a bad.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because, I think Fruitvale, True Life Story started his career.
Yeah.
And now he's well known. And, I definitely respect him as a filmmaker, because he started from the bottom. Not the bottom. I never want to say the bottom, but he started from home.
Yep.
And he finally made it. After he made it, he never left the Bay.
Yeah.
No.
All his films so far have been surrounded with.
Yeah, I remember
area.
he threw a picture up. I think it was on like Twitter or Instagram, but it was him at like the Old Century Theater in Richmond before they tore it down
I
and
saw that.
rebuilt it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
The one in
shit.
Pinot. The one in Pinot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like,
I have all
oh,
my
shit.
ticket stubs.
Yeah, so-
I have all my ticket stubs from there. Yeah.
My uncle Bobby often, had related the story a couple of times. Is Ryan Coogler sat down on my mother's floor, talking about my grand aunt Bonnie, to look through the photo albums for pictures of Oscar.
Oscar Grant was your cousin.
My step cousin,
we
yeah.
mentioned
Oh
that.
wow.
So that was a real trip, but I was listening to your story about how you got access and it just it reminded me of how Ryan got access to the family.
I feel like
in that way.
What's his name?
Doing that research.
The actor who played
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
he didn't have much to work with, believe it or not.
Really?
No, he there was no actual footage of Oscar Grant.
That's true.
The way he talked, the way he moved. I think he had a few pictures to work with.
The guy that played Sharky kind of reminded me
stories.
of Michael B. Jordan.
You think so?
A little bit. His cadence, was that the word?
Oh, the actor who played Vince, he was not my first choice.
Okay.
He wasn't. I already had an actor already. He was from LA. He was from LA.
Yeah.
And he was SAG. So I wasn't able to get him. And I went through all my fucking headshots. Fuck, and so I went back to Vince. Because Vince came in. He's from, he was 18 at the time. He's from Newark, Fremont. And he's very whitewashed. I mean, it's okay I can say that because he said it, he was. So, like, his Spanish was, like, horrible, and he was raised by white friends, and when he came in, he had a certain look, and it wasn't working for me. I said, look, I'm looking for Julio again, and I think you have the face, but you need to go with the look. So here are 2 movies I want you to watch. He said, what movies? I want you to watch Blood in, Blood Out and American Me. And I actually bought it for him. I bought the movies for him and sent it to his house. Because you can't find that now. You know what I mean? So I sent it to his house. I said, okay, here's the monologue. I want you to memorize this shit. And I want you to come in wearing baggy jeans and a tank top. And I want you to slick back your hair. And he came in like, okay.
Put in some work.
So he came in and he fucking nailed it. He killed it.
Nice.
That was it for me.
And did he get like the blessing from? Did you let the real people get the blessings for?
No,
the
I didn't.
actors?
No,
you didn't.
no, I didn't.
You don't need to.
I don't need to fucking blessings.
The day I went to, it's funny because growing up, I used to go. I mean, I don't want to bring it back again, but I just want to touch on this. Growing up, I would see her grave because she's like three whatever headstones away from my grandparents.
Oh wow!
And we would go there, and my sister would always walk me in like, "Oh, let's look at her," and then they knew the story real well.
Okay.
So it's something about like, oh, she's just a kid, And my grandparents were. I was young. I was like, oh, you only die when you're old,
Right, we all did. Yeah.
So then, growing up, like I said, I dated someone who was related to the killer, and then they told me stuff about him that was kind of, I remember that. And then once I was a little bit older, a teenager, we would go to Downer back when it was before they and then there was this game that like older cousins had that's like if you sit there alone in those stairs and you might hear something. So I lived 3 houses down, so we didn't know much, and we did it, and that's how I remember that. But then when I actually went to see the film, I went with my cousins who were friends with Sharky back in the day, so we were in the gang when we were younger, and they told me a bunch of stuff about that. Like she would try to get them out of the gang life and try to push them to do their homework. Yeah, and like the little time they had with her, they had a huge impact. On them, and then after we left the screening, they just told me all these stories about her. How she helped them with their homeworks, and they'd be all like high and stuff in class, and she would like kind of like just one of those friends that push you to do good.
Oh, I like
so
that.
That was awesome to hear.
That was my vision of her. Yeah, that's what I thought she would have been. I get so goosebumps. I get goosebumps all the time when I think about when people tell me stories about her, because that's all I wanted, and that's all I ever wanted to create it. And I'm kind of glad that I was able to shy away from her death, even though it had to be included. But just because it has to be included doesn't mean it has to be a certain way. You can always film it. I mean, I could have just had her walk to the school and him follow her and cut it, and we get the point. Yeah. But I want to be very authentic about it. I want to see her fight. Mm-hmm. Her mom told me that I'll never forget that even though my daughter lost the battle, I'm proud of her. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? He didn't get what he wanted when she was alive. Yeah. Unfortunately, he raped her post-mortem. Right. So she literally fought to her death before the actual rape. So she whooped his ass. And even in the transcripts, like what happened was in the transcript, he didn't want to kill her. That was never the case. That was never the case. I'm going to get that out there right now. He never wanted to kill her. He had the knife. He wanted to rape her. That was the process of the whole point. But when, for example, if I put a gun in your head and give me your wallet, you're going to give it to me, right? You're not going to fight back. You know what I mean? Or for anybody.
For most people, unless you got problems.
For most people.
Yeah.
Most people.
We wouldn't, but Phil throws down.
Okay.
His name was Phil.
Krav Maga is the thing.
Okay, so,
but no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like I was 80%. Somebody would give it up, because you don't think you're gonna get approached that way. You don't think about fighting back. You just do it, and then you think back like, "Fuck, I should whip his ass," Yeah. With her, like she had no reason to be scared. Right. I just came from your house. Yeah. I'm cool with your brother.
Yeah. Someone known.
Like I'm not. So when he said when she started screaming, he panicked. Mind you, when it happened, it was in a hallway. Yeah. Everyone thinks I had to explain this to people because it wasn't in the school in the alley. It was an alleyway that led upstairs to the school. So the stairwell was outside for everyone to see, everyone to play. Mm-hmm. So when she panicked and got scared, her screaming, he was scared that everyone was going to hear and everyone was going to come to her rescue. That's where he kept fighting her. But she took over 18 stab wounds. Wow. Over 18. So literally her body watched from above at that point. Wow. And she was 4'11". I think 120. I believe he was 5'9", 200.
He was like 20 years old, right?
No, he was 17.
He was 17. Wow.
He was 17 years old. That's another misconceived perception of what people thought. Yeah. So everyone thought it was a grown ass man. He was 17 years old. Wow. Yeah. So the comparing from 4'11" to 5, she fought. Yeah. So I wanted to capture that so bad. Yeah. And even the fight was still too much to watch for certain people. Even the viewing we had when you went to, I believe one of her friends actually walked off and left and didn't finish the film. And I was consoling her in the hallway. She was just crying, and I can't watch it. I can't watch it. Her parents, when we had our premiere 2 years ago, I sat right next to them. They're right here, and I had Julio here. I did it on purpose. I want to just feel like, I did a good job, and the minute when they said "Love Cecy," they started crying. Oh shit! It was like, oh, God, how are we gonna get to this film?
Oh no, that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
The parents, they cried throughout the whole entire film, and they were willing to talk. Yeah. We had a big Q&A, and that was special. That's brave. They had a Q&A, and they made me a reward with a star. It says "Love Cecy, director." For me, so that's my Oscar. That's my Oscar. You know, that's all I ever wanted was their approval, and that's all I ever cared about. So they gave me a reward. Their home's always open to me. You know, I can always come over and hang out. So their daughter now, their story it's now a movie. If you want to know about her, watch the movie. You know?
We'll definitely check it out, man. And you know what? Like you brought up a good point because it's like, for example, one of my favorite movies of all time, La Bamba.
I hate. Fuck, I want to talk about it so bad. I'm talking too much. I promise I'll make it quick.
Go for it.
Give me like 5 seconds.
No, go ahead.
Okay, La Bamba was my favorite movie of all fucking time. All time. Yeah. I remember just all time. I actually went to his grave in Panoma.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a car show in Panoma. And then the car show was at the high school he was at. Yeah. And then I went to the cemetery. Anyways, love the fucking movie. In high school, when my favorite music store of all time was Amoeba. Mm-hmm. So at school, I go to Berkeley, go to Amoeba, and I remember they had a CD. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, God, Rich found a CD. You know, I had the soundtrack of the movie, right? Yeah. And I remember listening to his music. I was like, he sounds different from the soundtrack. What the fuck? You know, and then you gotta realize we had no Google back in 2000.
Yeah.
No fucking Google. Now I can Google like Los Lobos now, right?
Yeah.
I had the soundtrack and it said Los Lobos.
Los Lobos recorded.
Who's Los Lobos? And then in the movie, he sounds so fucking good. He had like a little R&B feel to it. You feel me? And I always thought that's how he sounded. Yeah. I just thought he was lip syncing to Richie Valens' voice. I'm sorry, you're gonna hate me. I don't think he was really a really good singer.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that I think I did my research. Obviously, years later, the quality of his music couldn't be lip sync. It just didn't sound right.
Right.
So they had to have someone to cover it. But why would you have someone cover it who sounds better than him?
Yeah.
And then it gets worse. Are you fucking ready for this? So I did my research even more.
I don't think I want to listen anymore. No, it's ruining it for me.
I got deep into it, and I actually had a great meeting with the director who lives here, and he lives in. I met. He came to my premiere.
I forgot his name, but he was in Blood and Blood Out Got too, right? Or,
no, he did Zootsuit.
Oh no, Zootsuit.
He did Zootsuit.
Zootsuit, yeah.
And I met him. I had a lot of questions for him, and I said, I actually met Bob.
Oh yeah!
Before he passed away,
you did. Okay.
Okay, my film Scene Padre premiered at the Watsonville Film Festival.
Oh yeah. And
that's where I met, and they premiered La Bamba right after my movie. Isn't that dope? Yeah. So the director was there. He was there. I remember we sat down. We had a cool little conversation about my movie Scene Padre. I talked about La Bamba, and 80% of La Bamba was all fiction, which is like half of his whole like story portrayed in the film. Oh, wow. Him and Bob, I talked to Bob. They never had a relationship how it was portrayed in the movie. There's a 15-year age difference between them two.
Oh, shoot.
I talked to Bob. There was never no Rosa. There was never a Rosa. No. See, as a director, you don't have much to work with. Yeah. You gotta start adding shit and creating these fucking characters to have a story.
Damn,
there was never a Rosa. The only thing that was true was, for example, he told me that the airplane thing.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. So the director used that to advantage. And but okay, would it be cool if he was afraid to fly because of this?
Yeah.
Because of what happened.
Because the airplane fell out of school.
That was true. Okay. He was not there. That's true. He was at his dad's funeral. That's true.
But he didn't have a fear of flying.
He never had a fear of flying. That was never true. Him and Donna never went out.
Oh shoot.
They were just like, I have a crush on her. She's cute, but I'm touring. He was touring at the time.
Yeah.
So they never had sex. They were never really intimate.
Okay.
Oh damn.
So that's 5 already.
That's 5. And then
was Desi Arnaz not involved with their career?
Okay. But he wanted to make it How I Made a Love Story with him, the girlfriend, and Cecy and her boyfriend. He decided to make it a story about the brothers.
Oh yeah.
And bring them together.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, the mom had died like 3 months after the film.
Yep.
So of course they asked permission, but she didn't care at that point. Like I want someone to know who my son was.
Right.
The movie made his legacy. Let's just keep it real.
Oh yeah.
If the movie was never made, there was no Richie Valens.
Yep.
So I'm kind of glad the movie was made, even with Los Lobos, even all the fakeness to the film. He still have a legacy to this day, but it's not his music. Everyone remembers Richie Valens. Everyone remembers La Bamba because of the music, the soundtrack. The soundtrack was amazing, but it was never his music. Never his music. He never sounded like that. One more thing. I'm almost done.
Santana had a big part, right? Like he put the music together.
He did the score. The score.
There you go.
Awesome score.
Yeah.
One more thing for I'm almost done. what I wish they would have done was put a real picture of who he was.
Yeah.
Mind you, there was no Google.
Yeah.
So you couldn't Google what he looked like. So when I found out he was overweight and he had green eyes and he was, not that it mattered, but fuck, there were two separate, like, they made him like a heartthrob,
right,
skinny and all that in film. But in real life, he was an overweight Chicano. And why can we have that? Why can we have a chubby, like, rock and roll player who knew no Spanish? Why can we have that? Why does it have to be a certain... We have to realize this was the 80s. If they were to make a movie now, it would totally different. Like, the film would be different.
I think that's your next project, man.
I know, right? Remake La Mamba.
There you go.
The true story.
This is why I brought you here. No, I'm just kidding.
But I understand, as a filmmaker, I understood what the director was going through. Right. He didn't have much to work with.
Yeah.
This was the 80s, bro. Yeah. There was no fucking Google. There was no dictionary. There was nothing
no book on him or anything.
There was
like
nothing.
That. Yep.
So whatever he created, his legacy was, he only lived for, his career was only a year.
Yeah.
You know, he accomplished a lot.
Yeah, because he got famous when he was 16. He died when he was 17. Yeah.
So, so it doesn't make a difference now.
Right.
Obviously.
Great movie, yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I would never take that away from him.
Oh, yeah.
But as a fan, I mean, I can't say I'm a fan of Richie Valens because I don't care for his real music. I like the soundtrack.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
Let's keep it real, you know?
No, I totally get it. You know what? It's I'm glad, like some of this that I just found out, like I found out now, because growing up I thought how they put the movie together was exactly how it went down.
We all think that as true stories, but when you really get to filmmaking storytelling, especially for a filmmaker like me, I can take out like what's fake, what's not fake. The movie Bombshell, the one that just came out about the sexual harassment.
Oh yeah.
I went in. I never heard of these women before, but I love true story films. So the women that actually was portrayed, they actually watched it and then they took the pros and cons, like this wasn't true. And I'm looking like, come on, like we ain't gonna find out. Like, I get it as a storyteller, like you want to make it spicy,
right.
You want to tell some juicy shit, and I fucking get it. I'm all for it. But these are people live for fucking with. You just can't just, you know. But with Richie Valens, this was the 50s, you know, and I get it. End of the day, whatever he put out there, it worked.
And he had a big impact because there's no like Chicanos in that stage at the time, right? Like, I mean, there
isn't, and there still isn't.
There's,
you know, not, you know, there's Mana, you know, they're rock and roll Chicano, but they're not overseas. They're, what do you call it? Mainstream.
Mainstream, yeah.
So,
whenever I'm telling, so I went to film school and still haven't made a film, but whenever I'm telling like my family or whoever, I'm like, I haven't made anything. I graduated 5 years ago. I still haven't made anything. I know this guy, he does theater, didn't go to film school, does theater, he's made 2 movies. So I use you as an example of how much of a mess I am. Anyways, so I kind of, if you could give me advice. I have a whole script. I've been working on it 5 years already. I started working on it shortly after my daughter was born. I've been a stay-at-home dad, so whenever she would nap, I would write. After 5 years, it's where I wanted to be, and it's like I went to film school. I only made 3 friends. One of them might have moved on, maybe isn't doing cinema anymore. And then I know these guys, and that is as far as my network extends. Now, these 6 people are very talented, you know.
Of course.
But
you need no one else.
No, you absolutely do. Movies are a collaborative thing. So it's like, okay, what is the next step? Do I get a crew? Do I find location? Do I find actors? What do you think?
Okay, first and foremost, I never went to film school. I'm self-taught. I feel like you don't have to go to school to be a director. I think it's great to go to school. School can only teach you the basics of filmmaking. You as a filmmaker had to figure out what works for you. What's your fucking niche? What's your craft? You have to figure out your craft. Quentin Tarantino, we know his craft. We know his type of films. We know, like, Dirty Feet is his thing. If you watch his films, there's someone with a scene with a dirty feet. That's a little insight that he had said at the Actors Workshop. So there's certain things and niches that work for him, and that's why he became successful. I don't think he went to film school either, I believe. I'm not sure. But I feel like everyone feels like you have to go to film school. You have to be something to get to where you need to be. I'm like I said, I'm self-taught. I remember having a VHS camera making movies. My first movie was Air Bud 2. The little white boy with the dog and the little basketball. I remember seeing Air Bud and I loved it. And I wanted to make a part. I fucking wrote a script, dialogue, and I made the cover with the crayon. I had a VHS. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just...
Nice.
I always wanted to be a director. And I've always wanted to act. And I've always wanted to be part of the industry. But I was never pushed to do it. Does it make sense? I had immigrant parents, know nothing about the outside world of what they already know, so I didn't have anyone to push me. Brothers and sisters never pushed me. To this day, I'm still trying to figure out how I was able to do it, I remember I want to be an actor. Like, I remember before Google, it was Yahoo. Mm-hmm. You need headshots. What's that? Like, professional pictures. Okay, well, like, where do I go do that? How do I do it? I need to get it done. What's the resume? Okay. What's audition? Okay, I do, and I just figure it out for me. When it came to filmmaking, my first movie was Sink Father. I was in a film group called Asian Mainstream for people of color, and everyone was like this. I mean, like, it was like 10 of us, and each one of us did something. Some of us were good writers, some of us were good actors, some of us were good. We all had our own equipment. And each one of us made a short film, and we were all part of it. We were a big family. And I want to make a feature film. Like, Jay, I think it's best if you do a short film. No.
That's what everybody tells me.
I don't want to do a short film. I go home and go hard. That saying? Like, yep. I want to make a feature film. And, okay, but your budget, let's make it work. So my... Maria Bakar, she's like my inspiration. She told me that anything can be done. Anything is possible. You don't need a $30,000 budget or a $1 million budget film. Look at fucking movie Cats. $100 million spent and it only made $13 million. It flopped. So no matter how good or how not good, how much money you have doesn't mean you make a great fucking movie. It's the story. Honestly, I came up with this beautiful story, part true story. I wrote the script. I had help with my film crew, my film family. We wrote the script in September 2011. I was done in December. We had auditions in January, and we filmed in February in 7 days. I had my best friend Adam. He was an editor already. I paid him $500. I was working at a grocery store at the time. I was working at what's that grocery store across the street from Pollo Loco?
Food Max.
No, not that one. The one next door.
Smart and Final.
So I worked at Smart and Final. I make $8 an hour. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was, you know what? You got to have common sense. We can use my house for this scene. Let's use your house. Oh, how about this scene? We can use the garage at my friend's house. Okay, boom. We save money on fucking permits. We can film in the streets in San Francisco, but don't have... The reason why a lot of filmmakers they film in public areas because they need a permit because you have a big crew. But thank God we don't live in the era we need big ass fucking cameras. We need big crews. You know what I'm saying? We filmed in a Canon HD 5.9
T3i that one?
4
T34.
We had a 4.
Yeah, T4.
A T4.
Yeah.
A small little fucking camera, a little boom. We caused no scene, we were able to go on the bus with it. We were able to, make it work. And then I knew nothing about direct. I knew what a directing was supposed to be. I just knew I wanted to take charge of my story. We filmed it in 7 days. We edited it that summer. We had the trailer out. By the grace of God, dude, the trailer stood out, and we had a connection with the San Francisco Latino Film Festival, and we had our world premiere. Wow. We were opening night.
Dang.
My advice to you, now I'm on my second, now I'm going to be on my third. You got to have a passion. What makes me want to write, what makes me want to direct, what makes me want to get into my films is passion. I'm just so dedicated and passionate about what I'm doing. And yeah, I have work and I have this and I have that, but you have to be sane to have something a little bit for yourself, especially with a person with kids. It's really hard and difficult to put aside your family for your passion, because unfortunately at this point, family's first, and then your passion, etc., and your soccer or whatever.
You have kids?
No, I have no kids. So I have a little more freedom.
He just said he'd never been in love before. So
well, you don't have to. You don't have to be in love.
That's true. That's
my dad. Okay,
that's true. My bad. I'm a little. I'm.
But you're gonna have a lot of people tell you no. I had, even with Love Cecy, don't do it, don't make it. It's never gonna happen. Just put it on the rug. Why are you doing this for? Like, why you opening the grave for? Like, no, I'm gonna fucking tell it. When you tell me no, I'm gonna do it anyways. Oh, I just love when people tell me fucking no. Oh, fuck, it turns me on. Like, I can't do it. Oh, okay, watch me. You know, both films I've done were hugely successful at its own right. As far as your filming, now when I made my second film, I didn't have my first family, my film family. That's why I lost gratitude with the second. My crew, I just call them my crew. Like we didn't have that family establishment. Unfortunately, we just made a movie. I wanted to build that family bond, and that helped made my first movie work. But I'm realizing now that I'm still learning as a filmmaker that every film you do is not going to be the same as your other, but you're always going to grow. So there are certain things that I've learned and that I don't want to do that I did in my second film that I know for sure to look out for my third film. The cool thing about being a filmmaker or anyone in the industry, podcasting, rapping, singing, acting, whatever, you never stop learning. You're always going to grow, dude. After this fucking interview, it's going to be a next one. And now you know the mistakes, whatever you made for this one, you know not to make it to the next one, you know? Each film and each song, each book and each film you create, it's going to be different. You're never going to fucking stop learning. There's always going to be a story to tell. There's always going to be a podcast to present. There's always going to be a song to write. And you got to surround yourself with positive people who love what you do. That keeps you sane. That keeps you motivated, you know? With your, even though you went to school for it, I'm pretty sure your parents looking down on you. What the fuck, you know? And show them why you're a filmmaker. Show them why you want to make films. Show them what your passion is. They don't see shit. You know how Latino parents are. Like, we gotta prove shit to them. We gotta make it reality to them for them to like believe. Like when I was on NBC Latino, my mom was like, "Ay, so like." My mom was like telling the whole world.
That was when it was real.
You know, that's when it was real for her.
Yeah.
She would see me at home, like in my room, locked up, writing. She's like, "Yeah, it's local," you know. And I told her I want to be a film.
I'll be editing photography on my tablet, right? And my mom's like, she sees me, she's like, "Take out the garbage, do this, do that." I'm like, "Mom, I'm working." "You're not working. You're on your tablet." "I'm working." But yeah,
and they don't get it. And honestly, dude, you have to not give up. Don't give up on your passion, dude. It may take years, it may take months, it may take weeks, but you're never gonna come to fruition unless you fucking do something about it. Because you don't always want to have a dream. And you know, at this point, if you don't do nothing with it, it's just a dream. You know, at this point, it's not too late because there's some good scripts out there that took 10 years to make, and there's some stupid scripts that, you know. But for me, what works for me, I'm a go-getter. I want to get it done now. Like, each film took 6 months to write. I was on, every film festival that I went to, I network. I have my cards, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I do. Here's my website, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, it's a good network. I don't have friends on Facebook. I have people I don't fucking know. I have editors, I have actors, I have podcast people, I have film festival coordinators. You know, I'm like, I will follow an actor who has like 70 people that we have in common because they're in the same industry. You know, I had people DM me on fucking Facebook, like the guy from New York, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself out there. You have to, and I hate to say this though, as much as you're comfortable with your friends and your crew, I think that's what ended up working for me as well. I was just so comfortable with my family. My first film, I wanted that to happen to all my films, but unfortunately that's not how it's going to be. Yeah, they're with you now, but eventually he's going to end up doing his thing. You know, he's going to end up doing his thing, and then you can be like, "No, fuck, everyone left, now I can do my thing." No, you fucking do your thing. You make it work. You make it happen, dude. You fucking strive and just do it. Just stop fucking crying about it, just fucking do it.
Yeah,
pretty much. You know, my new film now that I'm writing, I started in August. I wrote like 10 pages, and I haven't written 3 months. And it's so not like me. And I was like, "Fuck, Jay." And honestly, I didn't fucking feel like it.
Been there. Yeah.
I don't feel like it. And I'll sit there and look at my script. I'm like, I'm going to the movies, you know, or you know, I just. But lately,
let's go to Taco Bell.
Let's go to Taco Bell, get out, chalupa and shit. But just recently I started picking up my writing up again. And when I realized what didn't work for me was social media. I took down my Facebook, my Instagram, todo. I needed to focus. I was so distracted. I didn't realize how, mind you, I started my first career in 2011. Facebook wasn't even hot then. There was no fucking Instagram. There was, but it wasn't as hot as it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was easier. With Love Cecy, it was a little harder, but I wasn't as focused on social media. And now that social media is the shit and you're always on it. I mean, I could be taking a shit. Wake up in the morning. On BART. You know, just like, I'm at work. Like, so I took off my social media and I wrote 20 pages. And I told myself a page a day. Start off doing that. Yeah. And then now I'm like 2 pages a day. But then I took 2 days off because I was forcing myself at that point. You don't want to do that. Right. When you force yourself, hell shit just shit that made no fucking sense. Like, this made no fucking sense. I erase it. You know, I'm very, very old school because I like to write in my notepad, my actual notebook. I like to write. That works for me. It may not work for everybody else. I believe in all my good ideas are random as fuck and they come from everywhere. And I can pull up my notebook and just write it down. You can't. To me, I feel like it's not organic when you do it with a laptop or a tablet because with the notebook, there's no batteries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't die on you. Yep. You always have it there. Yep. Once both my scripts, I still have it, you know, and I look back on it and I oh my God, memories. And when I'm done with my script, I grab my laptop and then I end up just eventually write it down. But that's what's working for me. Find your inspiration. Find what works for you. You know what I mean? When I watch other filmmakers do their movies, I get jealous. Like, fuck, dude. Like, how come they're doing it? I'm not doing it. Oh, duh. I ain't doing shit about it. I ain't doing nothing about it. Yeah. What are you doing to pursue to make your dreams happen? These guys are your brothers no matter what. And they love you. But they want to see you venture out and do your own thing. Just as much you want them to do their own thing. I hate to say this, you guys. You guys are not going to be together forever. And there's going to be a point where you can do your thing, and your thing. So don't get too comfortable with these boys because we're all going to venture out and do something on your own. And you don't be left behind doing nothing. Now that you have a daughter, show that daddy can do it. Because you're a prime example for her. You know? So definitely network, dude. Go to fucking film festivals. Yeah. Every film that when Love Cecy went to 30 film festivals, I went to 10 of them. I got a chance to travel, meet people, give them my card, and meet other editors and what works for them, and meet other directors, and they will inspire me to get all fucking pumped up and shit. Oh, this is my story next. This is what I'm working with. You know what I mean? And it's very therapeutic. And I was so scared to leave my film family. Oh, I was so fucking scared. I was like, fuck, man, I can't leave you guys. You're my people. But when we did Love Cecy, everyone did their own thing, and you know, and it broke my heart. But now, like, I gotta be on my own for my next one, and I gotta build a new establishment with that one. But I would say this: keep looking back at your script, make sure there's a purpose to it. And one other thing, I'm gonna give you some good advice: tell a story that's never been told before. Do not follow the statistics of Hollywood. They keep repeating everything, remaking everything. They're running out of fucking ideas, rebooting everything. That's why they keep going us independent filmmakers and writers because we have soft, raw ideas. If you do a story, make sure it's something that people want to see. When you write a movie, make sure it's a movie that you think you're going to want to see. You know, when you make a movie, make sure it's something that's going to, for example, you love soccer, right? Do like a kid's soccer movie where one of the kids wants to be a superhero and he gets bullied. And come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I come up with the one thing about me that I love, I can come up with great ideas like that. Like, it's nothing. You know, there's not a lot of soccer movies out there. You know, you can make a drama. You know, a poor kid from Mexico would come over here and he ends up making it as a soccer player, but then he gets deported back, and this whole team fights for him to come. The story right there.
Don't give him away now.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, that sounds like a plot for a boxing movie.
You know what I mean? Or you can do, you know, like I said, there's not a lot of soccer movies, and then the soccer movies that we do have are they're saviors. For example, I'm not racist. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but I hate when you see a movie with a white savior. Let's keep it real. Like the movie McFarlane, a bunch of Mexicans in McFarlane, and then you have a white guy who comes in and saves everything. The movie Dangerous Minds, you have a bunch of fucking blacks and cholos and Asians, and they're fighting each other, but you have a white teacher who comes in and saves it. That's Hollywood for you. Every Chicano Hollywood movie you could think of had some white character to break the boundaries of everything. That's what Hollywood's thinking. When you see American Me, you have that white guy who wants to be a cholo. You have Blood In, Blood Out. You have the white cousin. You know, you have La Bamba, Donna. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have, and even sometimes black movies too. You know,
a lot of times in black movies. But to be fair, to be devil's advocate, there's something to be said about. You know, and I get not every single story needed that. Like, you totally could have had a teacher of color come in and turn that community around. But for something like, you know, like people will talk about, I'll give you an example. I didn't see the Harriet Tubman movie.
Oh,
but I can already hear, and I don't know what goes on it. But you have films where, you know, you'll have the slavery film and then some white person comes in to help, like 12 Years a Slave. But my thing is, historically, there were white abolitionists. They were also technically the folks in power. And there are certain points along the civil rights history where it's like, if you didn't have the support of some white people, nothing was going to get done because they had the majority of the power. You had to have somebody on the other side to advocate for people of color. And people hate to admit it, but it's like, I mean, had all of the white America had collectively said, no, we're not giving you any rights, then we weren't getting any rights.
I agree. I definitely agree if it's a true story.
Yeah.
It is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
But when you have a fictional story, you should have
it needs it, right?
Blood In, Blood Out was never a true story. You know, American Me, like other white savior movies are, you know, not all of them are true stories,
right?
But with Hollywood,
there's a lot of tropes, is what I say, like the magic Negro trope. You know,
yes,
the wise person of color who comes in and helps the white
basketball player, the rap. You know, the stereotype.
That's true.
The thing about film is that it takes away our reality. You know, we always think, for example, with Mexicans, when they see rap videos or they see a black movie, all black people are like that. You know what I mean? Or when you see even a white movie. All white people are like that. No, it's what you see on TV and novelas or TV shows, whatever. But in reality, that's not all black people are like that. Not all white people are like that. You know, but with Hollywood films, you know, like sometimes you have to have a white savior to make a broader audience. But you know, I get that part. But I feel like sometimes there's Latino stories or black stories, and you have white directors directed. And I have no problem with that. I don't give a fuck what color you are. The movie Blood In, Blood Out, guess what? He was a white guy.
Yeah.
But he did his research. He was committed. He made sure that the story was realistic, and it became what it is today. The movie Lowriders, I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
You haven't seen Lowriders?
I haven't seen Lowriders.
It was directed by a Peruvian guy, but that script was given to him to direct, so there was no passion behind that film. It was whatever. Like the movie Coco, I think both the directors are Latin, I believe. Yeah. So that kind of helped bring the story come to life. But even The Color Purple, Steven Spielberg, he did his, you know, what I'm saying? He did his thing. So I don't think ethnic has to do with when it comes to directing, but when you tell an ethnic story, you want to keep it to the truth and do your research, and you know, but to your film, you know, I would say there can be times where you're gonna be lonely. There can be times where you feel like you can't do it on your own, but you need to figure it out and make it work for yourself. And that's how I did it. You know, I didn't have resources like people have now. You know, I started in the early thousands where there was no Google, there was nothing. There was more like on site, like they were like, what do you call those parties? Mixer parties, and you know, I'm very outgoing, as you can tell. So not like you are outgoing, but you need to force yourself in that box. But you're outgoing, you tell jokes and shit on Facebook.
I'm not. It might look like it, but I'm not. And I think maybe I'm digging my own hole, but I look at JD, super charismatic. I look at you're super charismatic, and it's like, fuck, like I'm not, you know.
I think you are. Like I said, like you gotta find your niche.
We go to bars and he's like very outgoing. He just says he's not. Like, come on,
I think you're outgoing. I think you're a wonderful
person. Playing hard to get.
Playing hard to get.
No, pretty much.
Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. What's your script about? Like, what?
It's so I when I went to see your movie, I remember we talked about I was actually working on a soccer movie. I put that on the back burner, and then I started working on a movie about these nerds that are going to an anime convention.
Okay.
It's nothing but authentic because I've been going to these things for 20 years already. And yeah, it's okay. So like you watch what's it called, American Pie. It's these guys like all they want to do is get laid, right?
Right.
So it starts like that. But if you watch all these teen movies, especially from that era, it's like they want to get laid, they're mediocre, and they get laid.
Okay.
So in mine, they want to get laid, they're mediocre, and it's like, well, the real world isn't always that simple, right? And so they don't. They fail, and they it's a.
So I see it's about people you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It's a low stakes kind of comedy, satire of teen movies.
Okay, then can I keep it real with you?
Yep.
I always do.
Yeah.
It's been done before.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Not the particular storyline,
Right.
but for you to grow as a filmmaker and as a writer, tell stories never been told before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see it because to me, if I were to see it, it'd probably be like a remake. The one thing I do like about your story so far is that it's an anime thing.
Yeah.
Convention, Comic-Con thing. I have not seen anything like that before. I would shift it and take away the whole getting laid. I'll just maybe like there's 6 kids that's trying to get into Comic-Con but they can't get in and it's hard to or 6 kids who from like they're all gamers.
Yeah.
One from Ohio, New York. They never met each other before, but the goal is to come to Comic-Con, but they can't get in.
Yeah.
So they try all odds to get into this Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And that's their goal in the film is to get to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And maybe one sleeps with the director of the comic. You know what I mean? Like just make sure each character has their own individual storyline.
Yeah.
But you have 6 characters trying to get fucking laid.
Yeah.
And then it gets boring.
Yeah.
And then we all know they're all in it for one thing. But if these 6 friends who never met before and they come together to get to the Comic-Con, they can't get in.
Right.
Each one of them has their own adventure to try to get into the Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, and in the movie, they'll get in
like
eventually.
Detroit Rock City. You seen Detroit Rock City?
No, I've heard of it. No.
Yeah. I've saw it a long time
But
ago.
something like,
Or have you seen Fanboys?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Fanboys is the first comedy that I had ever seen. I think it was released like 2005, 2006?
Around there, yeah.
No, I think it was like 2008,
2008,
somewhere in there.
somewhere before the decade came in, and in that film, it was the first film I'd ever seen about any kind of collection of science fiction, aside from like maybe the Star Trek pastiche, the
Trekkies.
No, not that's a documentary.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Aside from Galaxy Quest, this is the first time I think I'd ever seen fans of science fiction or comic books portrayed as a primary cast, and the idea was that these young friends that knew each other. It's like set back in like 99 or whenever the Phantom Menace is about to drop. This is before it dropped. They're graduating from high school and they haven't been talking for a long time. There's a rift in the friendship, and then one of them finds out that they have cancer. So then they all come back together and they're like, we're gonna go and break in to the Lucas Ranch, because the rumor mill is that he's created a brand new film, which is episode 1, and we're going to try to show it to our friend before he dies, because he's probably not going to live long enough to see the movie. So then they go on this big road trip, and like I can't remember who directed the film, but what's her name from Veronica Mars was in it.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell was in it. She played the female lead role, and apparently the original cut of the movie had like a lot of standard young teen sexual humor in it.
Well, the studio
had
them add like this whole like teen sex comedy subplot, and then
did they kill the film, or did it?
Well, then like people that like leaked online, and so there's this whole backlash online for you like, we don't want to fucking see that. We've already seen that in 300,000 other movies already. So then like the studio let them like go back and release the original cut that they had done, and that's the one that made out.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of what that well, at least the aesthetic of like, we're going to go and we're going to do a thing. And this film had the blessing of George Lucas, so they were allowed to use Star Wars sound effects.
Oh, wow.
the guy that plays Darth Maul shows up as like a member of the Lucas Ranch security team.
I didn't catch that.
Freaking William Shatner is in the film.
Oh, nice.
Like it's pretty cool.
But you have to when you make a certain film with a certain genre. What worked for me for my new movie now, watch all the films. I consider competition. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if there's like American Pie and all that, watch all those films and watch what's never been done before, and then add your little twist to it.
Yeah.
I think that would make it more original.
Mm. So I'm sure your schedule is like super packed, but would you be willing to read my script?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
You still live in the area?
Yeah, I'm down the street.
Yeah, I have to print it out for I know.
It's funny.
Joaquin said he would read it too.
You said that when people say no to you, that makes you want to hit it.
Oh yeah.
So here's my attempt to. You cannot cast me in your next film.
You wasn't casted to begin with.
Damn it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, I would love to read it. My new movie now, I'm doing a lowrider movie.
Oh, no way.
I'm doing a lowrider movie. The cool thing about my lowrider movie, there's not a lot of lowrider movies to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't have that much competition. So
there's not very many good car. Is it a car movie?
No. The cool thing about this film, like I said, I want to do something that's never done before. It's going to be an all-female cast lowrider film. So it's a female story about... So when you talk about that movie, it kind of drawn a little bit to my film, but... So the movie's about 4 girls. They're late 30s, early 40s. They've been in the lowrider community for many, many years. They're like best friends. The main character, she is secretly dying of... not breast cancer, but cancer in the pelvis. And she wants to keep it a secret. So instead of going through chemo, she decides to live her best life. And by doing that, she wants to fix this old 1950 Impala, that's 1964 Impala, that's been in her garage for many, many years. And she wants to finish this car with her 3 best friends. And as the best friends get together, and so the car is symbolic. It brings them more together, but each woman has her own issues and her own story that brings the story in this car to life. And it's a huge risk that I'm taking because there is a lowrider community for women, but they're very, very small, and they're not getting as they're not getting their love because it's a male dominant world. Right. But each women are going through their own issue. One domestic violence, one is dealing with colorism, and one's a lesbian in the group. And what brings them together is the love of lowriding and the love of the community and the love of their cars. And about a year ago, I came with the idea a year ago. I wasn't going to do it at first, but I had a good friend of mine, who's just a filmmaker as well. We collaborated. Oh, fuck, dude, I volunteered at the film festivals. I met hella filmmakers, dude. Oh, just volunteer. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. So I should hook you up with Lou. Lou Ramirez is the CEO of the Latino Film Festival, San Francisco, and he accepts all volunteers. You can be a ticket taker.
Nice.
You can. That's a good idea. Because if I just show up to a place that that's not gonna work, No. But if I have something to do, I look less weird in public.
You'll be legit. You have a little name tag, and then you meet all the filmmakers, and there's a party for us, and you just meet everybody. So I met one of the filmmakers there, and she's from San Diego. She just moved out here, and she did a short film called Female Lowriding. It's a documentary, 30-minute documentary. And I was like, female lowriding? They exist? What the fuck? And I was like, really? I always thought the lowriders were the Haina, the Rucas. The
models on the car? The
models on the cars, or the girls, riding with their man, whatever. No, these are women who actually work on cars. And they love their community. I'm like, what the fuck? So I saw the documentary, and I fell in love with it. And I came up with the story, out of my ass, out of fucking nowhere. I think, oh, she had cancer. And then this time, I wanted to collaborate it. My last 2 projects, I was on my own. I was kind of lonely, and I wanted to collaborate with her, and she didn't want to do it, so I put it to the side. And somebody kept telling me to come back to it, and I end up being. Now this is the difference from writing and having passion. If you write just to write, you're never gonna make a movie. Never. If you make a movie and you're passionate about it and you're dedicated and you really want to make it, you really want to tell this story, and you have so much to give, then it's gonna happen. You're gonna make it. So I ended up going to my first car show. I'm not a car person, at all. Like, I've been around a lot of friends who have cars, work on cars, but never had any friends who actually work on lowriders. And but I was very familiar with the culture, but wasn't so deep into it. And then I decided I was going to do it. This is it. Wrote the fucking story. I met 15 lowrider women. I traveled all over California. I went to LA. I went to San Jose. I went to there's a car club, female car club, and she lives in Santa Rosa. I met these women. I heard their stories. I grasped everything. I told them the story of the movie, and they got goosebumps and they were crying. I'm like, and I realized, the story's fiction, but it's their story. Right. It's their life story, and
it's connected to truth.
It's connected to truth. And there has not ever been a female lowrider movie. Right. I'm going to be the first. That's true. So I have a lot on my plate. So whenever I go to a car show, I get excited. Like, these are my audience. Like, these are, and then, so I went to 7 car shows. I love cars now. Like, I love lowriders. Awesome. I made I never had a card, like a business card. I made one specifically for my run with the car clubs because I wanted to take me seriously. Here's my card, call me, and they call me, like, and then I'm cool with some of the girls, and I'll DM them like does this sound right? And to have a successful movie, you have to get their opinions and advice and whatever, so forth. I've seen every lowrider car movie out there. I actually bought all of them. Those are my competition. These are movies that I have.
Which movies did you watch to prepare?
Out of 5 movies, there's only one lowrider movie that was successful, which is Boulevard Nights.
What is it called?
Boulevard Nights.
Oh.
That came out in 1979. Danny Lopez is in it. It's a movie about 2 Chicano brothers from East LA, and one brother's in a gang, and the other brother, they're in a car club, etc. The movie was successful, it was a hit, but it was also a curse because it gave that bad Chicano vibe of all lowriders are gangsters. Yeah. So that kind of ruined it for the future to come. Yeah. The second movie was called Heartbreaker. That wasn't successful at all. There was, out of all the 5 lowrider movies, they're all white saviors except one. Boulevard Nights was all Chicano, like. The director was white, but he did his research. The music was there, the old school music there, that old school Chicano love was there, the car, everything was there. It was perfect. Heartbreaker is another film that no one really knows about. It's about a Chicano guy, lowrider, who falls in love with a white girl, and it just wasn't believable. And then the second one was Proud Brown. Whatever. It's about this gangster who's a Chicano, who's a lowrider, and he falls in love with a white girl. And then we have the movie La Misión, which is okay.
You're in that, right?
I'm in that. I was an extra.
Yeah. Oh, you were?
Yeah, dude. I was watching. I was watching it one day. Yeah, I was watching one day, and it was right after I had done one of the plays with you, and I'm like, oh shit, is that Jay? And I think I hit you up on Facebook.
But you told me, yeah.
I just saw you.
So real quick, who were you in that film?
Oh no, I was an extra.
No, but like
he was waiting for the bus.
I waiting for the bus. Oh, I had 3 scenes actually, and they're all fucking cut. But I got a chance to see all the lowriders, and this is back in. We filmed it back in 08. Yeah. And it's funny how I'm doing a lowrider movie, but I was always been part of it. It's weird. So I got a chance to meet all the actors from La Misión, and 3 of them were in my last 2 movies. So with that being said, La Misión with the gay son, and his boyfriend was white, and then the dad falls in love with a black girl, which I thought was beautiful, which is good because black and brown are very similar cultures, but I think people wasn't ready for that, and it didn't mesh well.
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
No one did. Yeah. I read the original script. It was flipped, so the boyfriend in the movie was supposed to be black, and if you think about it, the hipster was white.
White girl.
So then the director flipped it and made vice versa. And then last but not least, we have our last lowrider movie. It's called Lowriders, and it's about a young man from LA who wants to be an artist, but his brother comes, and his brother's a gangster, and then he falls in love with a white girl, and then So that movie wasn't successful. None of these movies were successful except Boulevard Night. So I still have a fucking chance.
I recommend that you have you tried checking out other car movies just that are car. Have you seen Bonneville?
No.
I recommend just so that you don't do anything that similar. Some of the premise, some of the ideas seem similar. So it's about this lady, her husband dies. Mm-hmm. He had a Bonneville, a 60-something Bonneville. And so she wants to go to the Grand Canyon to spray his ashes, I think. Okay. And so she takes four of her female friends. And so it's kind of a road trip. I really like I really like the movie, but I recommend it. The
cool thing about this film that I ain't finished it yet. So no one knows she has it. That's her biggest secret. She's bringing the girls together just to fix the car. Because she wants to live her best life. Yeah. So instead of going through chemo, she decides to. So throughout the whole movie, we see her deteriorating. Until the end of the movie, when the car's almost finished, she finally tells her girls, like, this is what's going on. So end of the movie, the car's fucking finished. They're presenting the car. They're going cruising, whatever. We see the girls. They're all excited, whatever. And the girls turn the corner. And they all get out. And they're all holding hands. And they look on the hood of the back of the car, and it's her portrait. She passed away. Oh, you know what I mean? So
it's beautiful.
I know. Yeah. Thank you. I'm very conceited when it comes to my work because I'm a good storyteller.
Yeah, no,
I can make anything. I can make this into a movie. What we're doing right now, like.
Can I be in it? No,
we can play ourselves.
So, and it goes to show you that. Chemo's not always guaranteed, and, the cool thing about this film is that especially in Latino culture, we don't talk about colorism. We don't talk about sexual abuse. We don't talk about cancer. We don't talk about, what's going on in our lives. It's for some reason, it's always been taboo. And, like I said, each woman are going through their issues that bring them together. Like my favorite character I wrote, Anna, she's out of the group. She's the one that actually left the mission. She's the one that, she's the one that worked in corporate. She's very whitewashed at this point because she's living for her mother. She's a very brown-skinned Latina, very, very dark-skinned, and she was always taught that she wasn't beautiful and she wasn't good-looking enough because she was too brown. She was too dark. So she tried to please her mother by marrying a white man and, and going to college. And I mean, college is good and all that stuff. But she lost the love of lowriding. So her story impels to bringing the girls together. Anyway, so...
it's like a personality resurrection for all of them.
Yes. So then she meets this old school crush she had, Damien, who's one of the lowriders. And then he brings her back into like reality, like, this is who you are. Why are you faking it to me? But then we find out later in the movie that her mom holds a deep secret. So out of all the brothers and sisters, she's she's the darkest one. Everyone's like, you're skin complexion. Her mother holds a deep secret. Her mother was raped by a cholo, like a dark-skinned cholo. And when she sees her daughter, she sees
the raper.
She was a raper. So mind you, that out of all the brothers, so it's 4 brothers and sisters. There's 4 of them. She's the only dark-skinned one. And she always treated her different. And her mom, she never understood why. So we figure that, you know what I mean? And then we have Araceli, who gets abused by her husband. And he's like the big chop cholo car rider or whatever. I mean, the president of the car club. And little did everyone know that he's being harassed. And she had to find her resolution of trying to get out of that situation. And then, of course, Alma, the one who's dying. And then, last but not least, we have Adriana, who is a lesbian in the group, but it had nothing to do with her being a lesbian. She almost goes to jail for attempted murder because her little sister, who wants to be a car model, you know what I'm saying? Now, I did research, too. I met a lot of car models, especially in the early 90s. It was hard now it's easier for girls to get promoted. There's no magazines anymore. Lowrider magazines aren't in magazine anymore. Yeah. But back in the days in the early 90s... It's ended, right? It's ended. Yeah. Back in the days, in the early 90s, if a girl wants to be on a cover, she has to suck some dick or just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of photographers want favors. If you want to
casting couch stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And this particular scene in the movie, her little sister gets like almost raped by one of the photographers. And then her sister, Adriana, follows her to the photo shoot and has the gun. It's just, it's so fucking intense.
Nice.
And I want this. I'm gonna have a lot of backlash already, so I'm already prepared for it. That's why the movie has to be perfect. Yeah. It's gonna be perfect in everyone's eyes. I don't want to bash men. That's not what the movie's about. But I met a lot of Chicano, old school, OG lowrider men who live that lifestyle. They don't believe women should be lowriders. You know what I'm saying? I met lowrider men who don't care. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's about bashing all men. It's about bashing a certain aspect of a subculture.
Yeah, right? yeah.
And that's different.
I'm going to be honest. Anybody who accuses feminism as like men bashing probably has issues. Like, and it's not somebody whose opinion I think you want to worry about. When you're making your work. I don't know if I'm making any sense. It would be like if you were making. It would be like if what's his name, Peele.
Jordan Peele?
Yeah, was worried about what white supremacists would say about his movie.
I think the Klan may not like this.
No.
Well, fuck the Klan.
Because it sounds like you're making a movie where you have four
fuck them in the right ear.
Female characters with a lot of detail. They're not just there to, to progress a man's story.
Right.
It's not anti-man, basically.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's pro-women. And pro-women is not anti-man.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it anyways. But I don't want to upset a community because I'm nobody to them. I'm going into this, so that's why I did my research. I did the best I could to come up with a story that every woman, not just Latina women, but women in general, can relate to. And I think these are the 4 points. Aside from them coming together and being best friends, they have their strong points that. Their weaknesses. Now, so the name of the movie is called Smile Now, Cry Later.
Smile Now, Cry Later.
And the reason why I named it because women are emotional creatures. Yeah. And for once, why do we always have to cry about everything? Why can we stand up for ourselves? Why can we smile now and cry about that shit later? Hey, you know what I mean? And then with the last scene of her finally telling her friend, this is what's going on. Like, I have cancer. And they're like, why are you keeping this from us? Why are you holding this out? And she was like, I want to live my best life with my girls. Love what we do. You know what I mean? And I can see people in the audience crying, and I feel my heart is gonna be a very successful film. I just gotta find the right actors, obviously, and the right story, and so now I'm finally writing again. I'm fucking happy. I took down my social media. I'm writing like a couple pages a day. I have tons of lowrider magazine friends. So as a writer, for me, my inspiration is music. So I have a playlist that has nothing but old school music that's related to lowriding, and that keeps me going. That gets my momentum going, my juices going. Okay, I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm liking this song. And sometimes I'm on Instagram. When I had Instagram, I would go a lot of lowrider magazines or like people who are into lowriding and see their lifestyle. It's a fucking lifestyle, dude. It's like no joke. And you see them praising and loving their car and their work, and they're I'm like, oh my God, I'm loving it, And then it gets me pumped up. I'm just so fucking full of energy. So sometimes when I'm down, I don't feel like writing. I remember, why am I doing this? And I'm an inspirational writer. Every writer and every director is different. Some directors just want to tell a story and get it out the way and go to the next. This particular story, I want to take at least 2 years on it. My goal is to write, be done by March, start raising money, funding my crew from March to June, and start filming in September. That's the goal.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
So Cinco de Mayo, they have that festival, so the Outsiders Car Club that puts it together on 23rd. They're gonna give us a booth on their section.
Oh, nice!
Because they just opened their Lucky Ladies, a female version of their car club.
Oh, wow!
And they're gonna have the cars there, and they're gonna let us do a live recording there for the
dope.
podcast. So you should come down.
Oh, I'll be down.
Yeah, man.
And promote that movie a little bit. Yeah,
yes,
definitely down.
Be
Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely down. So these women, honestly, I've been so dedicated for these women. Like, they have a fucking story, dude, and if they're just allowed to be heard, and I think I'm the only one. I'm their voice, I guess you could say. The fact that this is gonna be the only lowrider movie for a female, I can't say ever, but you would think by now there would have been something by now. Yeah. But there's not a lot of women out there that that want to tell their story. But I feel like this movie, like I said, is unique and it's different. It's never been told before. There's this, like I said, there may be a story that's similar, but it had nothing to do with lowriders. But I feel like with this particular film, like actual females working on a car, females going through their struggles and stories, and like I said, I don't want to be a Latina film, but I want it to be a film for all women. That if I can do it, you can do it type of feel. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash of it because when they see me, they especially when they see my name, it's different. They're like, "Oh, okay, he's Latino," and then they look at me like, "Oh, he's a negative. What the fuck?" And then like he's a man telling a woman the story. Yeah. That's why I have to get it right. I have to not be so hardcore with these women. I gotta have some sensitivity towards them. But I have this vision in my head for the premiere. Like, I want nothing but female lowrider car clubs come to the La Mission Theater, pulling up with their lowrider, go on the red carpet. This is for them. I'm just
that's awesome.
I'm really excited. But I want you not to give up on your project, even though it's been 5 years. Maybe today's a wake up call.
Yeah, because he doesn't come out as often now, and like today he came for this, so it's like, dude.
No, so one thing I'm trying to do is actually I'm writing out my like on my calendar, like okay, because like a week passes, a month passes, and you're like, and you don't realize how much time is gone. But so I filled out my calendar with what I want to get done and by when, to hold myself accountable. Okay. In terms of time, because otherwise, like,
you're not gonna do it.
Yeah, no. It's just
like you said, the deadline helps. I want to also say this, man. Thank you for sharing with us on the show here your script for your not the script, but the story. Me personally, like, I whenever I hear of a movie that I want to watch, I never like, oh, you spoiled it for me, because what it is for me, it's actually seeing the story out and like how it's portrayed.
People are visual.
Yeah,
I'm a visual writer. Mm-hmm. I have to think about it first and how it's going to come about, and I picture my actors doing it and then write it. When I tell my stories, I'm very, very visual. Like I said, as a filmmaker or as a writer, do what works for you. Just because I'm doing it my way or Quentin Tarantino does it his way, these are all inspirations.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to figure out what works for you. Taking down my social media worked for me to get the juices flowing. Cause I literally lost, like, the passion was still there, the story of my film, but the writing wasn't there. And I'm very, very picky. I don't want no one writing my motherfucking shit. This is my movie. You know what I mean? And I would love to collaborate one day with somebody when it comes to writing, but it has to be someone I really, really like. There's a connection.
Yeah.
When you're forcing yourself to write. And the worst about Hollywood, I hate when people grab my script and start erasing shit, taking shit. It fucking irks my nerves. It's like, I worked hard on that. We're going to fucking film it. I don't give a fuck. Like, all my scenes and all my movie we filmed. Yeah. We had some deleted scenes in Love, Cecy, but the movie was 2 hours. The movie was like an hour and 40. It was supposed to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was a long movie. But I'm the type of person, like, if I'm gonna write it, we're gonna film it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I hate when you watch a good movie and see all these deleted scenes. Like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
And then you have these fucking people in Hollywood. They're not filmmakers. They're just contributing money. Pushers. Yeah. So they feel, well, we think it's too long and we're paying for it. So either they're not thinking visual or they're not thinking story wise. And if I worked for Hollywood, I would have been like, it'll break my heart. I'll go home crying like a little bitch. My seat, and I thought it was it's just like. And the cool thing about us being independent, like, even if you're a famous broadcast, and I was your executive producer and I'm paying for this, okay, this is too long, cut this, cut that, cut that. Like, dude, like, I'm paying for it. So end of the day, money's always a factor, which fucking sucks. It really, really does.
And time too. Sometimes you just gotta cut things out of your page, not necessarily because someone else said we got to do this, but because there's constraints going on with the people you're working with. Like Phil and I, a few years back, were working on a show called Black Suits. Right? It's a 5-episode miniseries. Took forever to make. It's set like in the Men in Black universe, and I had written a script for an episode, and we lost what was it, a page, maybe?
Yeah, it was. We were filming, and we had this big long scene. We had 2 scenes we still had to film, and it was like 3 a.m, and our 2 actors are like falling asleep and taking naps in between setups.
Oh shit!
And so we were like looking at what we still had to film, and we kind of had to have like a little group meeting and a powwow and be like, all right, we can wake them up and probably get one more of these, but we can't get both. So we got to pick which one of these is essential to the story. We can get this one. We don't really need this one. It's nice to have, but we can live without it. We can't live without this one.
It was a nice character building moment, but you know, it and I said, well, maybe we could like record the stars and have a voiceover conversation between the two, but we never got around to doing that either, which is just fine.
Yeah, it's just a scheduling thing because we couldn't get them both at the same time after that. So.
I feel like there's always we're not paying somebody. Unfortunately,
that's the thing is I go to like filmmaking mixers and I meet all these talented people and I'm just like, I'm gonna pay you if I work with you. I can't afford to pay nobody right now. So until I find that rich dude who just wants to give me money to make a thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's basically been like, what was it? One advice we got from from one of those film workshops is they said, if you can't pay your actors, at least feed them. We always feed our people.
I make sure we always feed our people.
I go all out for my actors when it comes to, I love to eat. I'm a big guy. I love to fucking eat. So if I'm gonna eat good, we all gonna eat good.
Likewise.
Because I'm the type of person where like I always feel like if I'm getting paid, you're getting paid. If I'm eating, you're eating. You know, I think we've talked about this before. I've had people where like they've been like, hey, I'm doing this commercial for Toyota of Marin. You want to come? And I'm like, sure. What's the rate and what's the date? Oh, it's not really a paid gig. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's Toyota Marin. You getting paid? I know you getting paid.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I like about working with like people who do different things than you. Like, you know, I do the stand up and they do the filmmaking. And
so what does everyone do?
So I'm kind of a one-man band. I do everything. Okay. Like when we do our short films, I'm the director, I'm the DP, I'm the sound guy, I'm the editor, I'm the first AC. So I'm actually not used to having a crew because I'm just used to doing everything myself.
Okay.
Joaquin, what do you do?
I mean, I'm a writer. You know, I write scripts. I also
you're a hell of an actor.
Yeah, I act as well.
I cast you in a bunch of stuff. You were in that independent film.
Yep, I act as well. I also fill in with whatever it is that you need on set. So you're not by yourself. IOP Video's a 2-man team.
That's true.
Thank you very much.
They're like a married couple.
We've known each other like 20 years.
You used to be a one-man band. Now we're the Russo brothers, okay? We're the Wachowskis over here. Anyway, I also rap. And it's funny, your story. And I don't mean to, I know we're going to ask him what he does too, but your story taps into something that was going on with me musically. Not your story, but your advice. You were saying everybody's going to go off and do their own thing. I had a rap crew in college. It was like we were like 20 deep at one point. You know what I mean? And like we had the main, exactly. We had like the main, the first act that came out, there were 3 of them. Combined with another group, and then we just kept moving from then on, and then it whittled down to like 3 people left. It was like me and a couple of other MCs, and we came out. Well, we built this project called we rebranded ourselves. We called ourselves Kirby's Law, and then our first project was Kirby's Law Year 1, right? And we recorded it, and it was like when you hear passion projects, I mean, the premise of it was that we were basing it off of the Batman Year 1 graphic novel. Like I went out and bought each of my crewmates the graphic novel, and then we had people who were going to be like featured on who were interested, and I said, all right, well, I want you to be Harvey Dent. Here's the copy of the graphic novel. You know, you got to get your verse to us by such and such. You know, we treated it like an audio movie with rap verses.
Oh,
like
nice,
I played Batman. You know, my bro played Jim Gordon, and if you read the graphic novel, it's basically Jim Gordon's story. And then my sis, she did dual female parts. She was Catwoman, and she was like Catwoman's young friend Holly, right? And then we had songs that sort of summarized the plot of the graphic novel. Then we had songs that were sort of thematically linked to some of the ideas. And then we finished recording it in 2013. Due to some setbacks, it didn't come out until 2017. But by the time I launched it, my group member had kind of moved on without telling anybody. Like we had like a message group thing, and he kept saying, oh yeah, we're going to come out and we're going to record you guys in the studio. So when it dropped, or before it dropped, I was doing an Instagram campaign. I was tagging him and everything. I was like writing his verses and putting them to like some cool comic book visuals, you know, that matched up with the songs.
Oh, nice.
And he hits me and he's like, yo, cut it out. Like you're censoring some of my verses. And I said, well, I do that because even though I'm a rapper, I also work for the school district, and I feel like I should at least not mention the curse words in the actual written form. Like audio just feels different. And he was like, also, like the tape is late in release. And I was like, well, I funded the mix down. We had this whole... Anyway, he basically was upset because it should have came out, in his opinion, years before. But I'm like, you weren't paying for engineering.
You weren't contributing.
You know what I mean? Like, and I you know what I mean? And I basically had done so much for the group already. I had already put money up for other mixtapes and stuff like that. I was done with doing too much of the funding. Yeah, you recorded us, like you brought his computer out, but at the end of the day, he had moved on to doing solo work without telling us, and he was moving to LA, I guess, in the next year or something like that. And then he just left. And I was just like, well, I mean, so I get what you're saying about people eventually leave and do their own thing, but I was like, yo, we just put this project out. We were supposed to be the Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan each have their own albums, because that was originally the plan when we formed the 20-person group. It was like, yeah, each one of us is going to have solo recordings eventually. We had subgroups and all that, but we would always come back together to do like the main thing. And to see it whittle down the way it did, it was sort of like, it was kind of heartbreaking. I was like, yo, we're supposed to be, all right, fine.
Everyone, when it comes to a group or filmmaking, everyone's in it for their own reasons. Some people who do a project may be in it just not for the passion of it, but just because they want to get seen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I said, everyone's in it for their own reasons, and it's hard to wheel out the passionate ones. And I have a lot of friends who will start a film and never finish it. I don't like wasting time. Either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Yeah. Like, I just cannot. The one thing we can't get back is time. Yeah. And I'm not gonna waste my time doing a project with somebody and it's not gonna come to fruition. So if you and I were collaborating on a movie one day, writing, like, we're gonna get it done. There's no, because so you have to be really clear or understanding on working on a project with somebody. They have to have the same passion, because people do lose passion.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because I started this podcast with another friend, and we recorded like 3 episodes already, and he got really into drugs and whatever. Then I met him, and then we started talking about it, because I started doing stand up because of him. I went to go see.
So funny, too.
Yeah, dude, he's one of when I went to see him live, I had never been to like a local comedy show. I had always seen Fluffy, and I met Fluffy, and then I saw like a local guy who's like my age kind of, and I was like, I'm gonna try it, and I did, and now like every time I feel like not writing, I look at the article that they made on me the last year, and I was like, all right, I gotta keep going.
That's your inspiration. That keeps you going.
Yeah, for sure. And then,
so like, you are an inspiration to people. You just don't know it.
There you go.
I think I lack confidence. That's definitely an issue.
If you lack, I lack confidence sometimes too. But I have to remind myself, why am I doing this? Yeah. So you went to school for a reason, right?
I've been wanting to do movies since I was like 12. So the passion's not going away. It's just that get up and go, which I've done quite a bit. I've actually written 3 scripts already.
Okay. Marinating in passion, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But and then you do stand up again.
Like, this last year I started doing stand up. I do a lot of photography. I sing. I do some acting. I did a play just in the winter. What else do I do?
So you're still out there.
Yeah.
But what's your main passion?
No, storytelling specifically.
Okay.
So if it wasn't movies, it would be writing a book or video games,
something in that nature.
Yeah, but storytelling for sure.
Okay. What do you write on?
I have Celtics on my laptop. I would love to get like a typewriter, just because like I get a headache after looking at an LCD screen for an hour or so.
The next morning, like we writing all night, and then I go to bed, and then I wake up with a headache because the night before of all the screening. It's not healthy. I try not to write in the dark. I think that's what it is. So I have a proposition. So with my movie that I'm making, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very, very lazy when it comes to like writing my films back on the screen, on the actual screen. So would you be interested in even if I pay you, I'm totally down. Like, if I give you my script, would you be down to write it in the Celtics?
Yeah.
I'll give you the freedom to not change my story, but like, you can like, if there's an issue, just give me a call. Hey Jay, I was thinking maybe this, whatever. Depending on the quality of the script, but I would love, because I need to start the process of already get the ball rolling for filming.
Yeah.
I would love to have you guys be somewhat. We'll talk about this later, anyways. But I'm giving myself to March to finish the script, but that's just finishing the script. I sort of give myself more time to fucking format it into Celtics, and I don't think I'm gonna have time for that. So while that's getting done, I can go ahead and get my crew, start raising money, you know what I mean, and the actors and all that. And I'd love for you to be like, you know, behind the scenes and all that. And then have you guys do a broadcast with like all the actors. You know, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
and then I have a huge following from both my films, so that'll open more doors for you guys. So it has to be short, obviously, but I feel like we can, and also we can do a podcast for the premiere, so you guys can show up at the premiere, be by the red carpet, have all the actors come in. Hey, everybody, it's the actor right here at the premiere at the Smile and I Cry Later. You know, you help me, I help you. That's what it's all about. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
man. You know what? This is why I first hit you up.
Yeah,
I was like, are you moving to LA? Are you going to Hollywood? And
no.
I
don't do no.
So you're gonna stay here?
I went to Hollywood.
Yeah. So the reason I want to stay, I don't want to go to LA. I don't want, if somebody's like, hey, here's some money to be in this project, I'll go. But like, I don't want to go. And people keep saying like, you gotta go.
I did LA for a year and a half, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
If you're not happy in your surroundings, how can you be happy with what's going on? Yeah, I'm here to make it and make it work. But you have to realize that you're not special. There's 50,000 other people doing the same fucking thing that you're doing. What makes you so special?
Let's build an industry here.
You know, that's
always been my mantra. Like,
that's what we talked about.
Forget going to like some ivory tower stuff. Let's do it here.
I went to LA to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor so bad. I really wanted to be. I've done a lot of things. I did TV. I did film. I did everything but commercials. My first big gig I ever got was as a theater actor. I did High School Musical 2 live on stage.
Oh, okay.
I played the Corbin Blue character, the one who's biracial.
Yeah.
Of course, light skin, green eye, black guy. Anyway, so I was 25 at the time, and this was the hype of High School Musical. And my agent sent me out to do to audition for the role. And did I talk to him?
Do you want some?
No, I don't actually. But no, I'm good. The meat's already cold and shit. He like, yo, amari crema. Give us some flavor a little bit, you know. You haven't ate yet? I feel so bad. Go ahead, eat. Yeah,
dude, it's all good. I wasn't even hungry because I'm so interested in.
Okay. I love the double decker taco. With the tortilla with the frijoles, and you put the taco in the middle and shit.
You want a cheesy gordita crunch? I got extra.
He's like trying to stick to being healthy.
I am.
You do a lot of fitness, huh?
I do. I can be a personal trainer.
We also got donuts.
Do you really? Yeah. He had coffee.
I can make coffee.
I don't want a fucking coffee. I don't want that.
Pass the donuts down.
No, I don't want a fucking donuts. No.
Oh,
is there any crema on this?
Can I get that one donut that's there? I'm trying to like.
The one I think this is the longest episode we've ever had
with one person because
and you paint such a good picture of what you say, man. And it's been like very like I'm taking it all in because you know what? I started doing acting this year, last year, but I really started.
If you're a comedian, you can definitely be an actor.
Ooh, could this be a two-parter? I wonder. How long we got?
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
A film that was a little bit, I guess, bigger. You saw it. I had a small part, but I had a big part.
Right.
Back end with because the dude was like, I need cholos. It was a cholo film.
I can see you being one of the gordo cholos.
I was a gordo cholo. And I was like, you want people that look like cholos? You want some real cholos?
Right.
I get you either or, you know.
Okay.
And we brought in.
You ended up with both because even I was a cholo.
Yeah. And like I'm in talks with him now to he's gonna cast me for something else for his future project. And I mean I never really thought about stand-up either, man. I just like telling jokes,
right?
And I like being funny, but stand-up kind of happened out of like accident, and then acting happened out of accident too.
Right.
And once I'm doing it, it just feels natural.
You definitely have the personality for it, that's for sure. But you don't want to be like typecast eventually. Right now it's okay because you're starting off.
Right.
When I started off as an actor, I was getting the thug role for some reason. I had to fire my agent because like there is no light skinned pretty boy thug out there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all like Unfortunately, how Hollywood,
fails.
It fails all the time. What I wanted to ask you: have you ever dealt with colorism?
I probably have. But I didn't think too much of it.
Okay.
I felt it at work.
Oh wow!
In the jobs that I've done.
Okay.
Not in the
society right now.
No.
Okay.
You know what I've noticed? The Bay Area is a bubble. Get out of the Bay Area, and you're gonna experience racism.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, we had a similar thing. We're kind of going back to what you were saying about like Hollywood tropes and everything. We did a film about a school shooter, and it was in a film festival, and our lead was like this Asian dude, and I've like grown up in the Bay Area, so colors like whatever doesn't make a difference to me. And like we're doing like a Q&A after our film premiered, and this one guy's like, "I'm just wondering why you chose to cast a person of Oriental descent for the lead."
Why not?
Like he was expecting like a white guy or something. And honestly, I was just like, "Well, the scene."
There has been one.
Virginia.
I actually was thinking when he asked that he was trying to see if maybe the Virginia Tech incident inspired it.
But like literally like what I told him was just like, well, there's a scene where he shaves his head on camera, so I just asked, anybody down to be in a thing?
You're gonna be
and he said sure. That was as much thought as went into it. Like I didn't care what his race was. He agreed to shave his head on camera, so we're cast him.
Make him look stupid. The guy I've done fucking tons and tons and tons in the Q&As. And I get nervous every single time. But I get asked the dumbest fucking questions. You really gotta just prepare yourself for them. My first movie, Sin Padre, it's in English. I wanted a Spanish title for it. It's on YouTube, actually.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
Yeah. If you get a chance, it's on YouTube.
Carlos saw it. I took him with me.
Oh, okay.
Who saw it?
Mars, yeah.
That's yeah. So I think I wrote that in 3 months. You get asked a lot of questions, and I love Q&A and I don't love Q&A. People be quiet, and then after you walk out, hey, I had a question.
They were just too shy to ask it at the time for some fucking reason.
I know, but I love film festivals. You really gotta volunteer this year for the film festival of San Francisco. I'll let you know. It was my 3rd year doing it, and every year I get so excited. I meet other filmmakers from all over the world, and they come to their films, and you just start connecting. Yeah. Have a business card, actually. Did I give you a business card when I first met you? Yeah. A business card does help. People are visual. I'm very conceited, so I'll put a picture of me on there. I don't give a fuck. They were $10. So this is what it looks like. So I have both my films on the cover of it.
Oh, nice.
My number, and I made up an email. Not made it, but I have my work email, and I have my production email. So I do my production email, and I put I'm actually a award-winning director. A lot of the film festivals that we won awards for was Best Director and Best Writer. I'm very honored and blessed that I'm able to hold that title. So of course I took advantage of it and put it on here. I'm not really a producer, but I produce both my films. I like to be hands-on on everything that I do. I'm very collaborative. I'm down for ideas. I'm not like, this is my way, this is how I do it. You're never going to get anywhere in the industry if you have that mentality. Mm-hmm. Be open-minded, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to be like, you know what? Because you never know, someone may have my fear is someone having a better idea than I had. Like, but I wanted that to be my idea. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to learn how to work with people and just be very outgoing. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah.
Do you have more?
Yeah. You like go like that?
Yeah. What awards did you for what film festivals did you win? Or says it on here?
No. We won Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Writer, Best Director.
Thank you.
Best Drama.
For Cecy?
That's yours.
Yeah, for Cecy. For Sin Padre, actually, we only won one reward. We didn't get too far with Sin Padre because of the content of the film.
Okay.
You'll have to watch it. Mm-hmm. Because of the content of the film, and I had no experience. Here's the worst part of being an independent director. A lot of people don't understand the independency of being a director. They think you made a movie, okay, what's coming to theaters? That's not how it fucking works. Mm-hmm. I wish it came out of certain theaters.
Right, you got to get like a distribution deal.
It's a process.
Yeah.
So I'll break down the process for you.
Yeah.
So the process, how it works, is that when you make an independent film, your goal is to get into film festivals. That's how you get recognition. Now, it's easy to put your film on Amazon Prime. It's fucking easy. I see tons of films like this made it on Amazon Prime. The only way to get your film on an actual popular, like Netflix, is really hard to get into. Mm-hmm. It's possible. It's doable, but it's possible. a lot of film festivals. You submit to a lot of film festivals. You have a tour. I do a tour. You do a year, 1 year only. Depending how successful it is, you may do 2 years. You do your little tour. You gain your following. That's how it works. I love Cecy. I have like maybe 6,000 followers, and maybe 65,000 followers. To me, it's a lot. I don't need 20,000. It'd be
on
great.
What?
On social media.
Okay.
Social media nowadays, that's how it is, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it is. The cool thing about film festivals now, back in the days, even 7 years ago, you had to submit movies with DVDs. Now you can actually just upload it and put it on the site and you're set. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, now you just use like Film Freeway or without a box or something and just submit your stuff.
Film Freeway, without a box, they stopped. No more.
Yeah?
Yeah, they stopped that.
Okay.
Now. So now it's Film Freeway.
Oh, just
I do Film Freeway. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I use.
I submitted to like Love Cecy. I had to raise money. So when we had our film festival, our premiere at the college, college, all that money went towards film submissions. That shit costs money. That shit's expensive.
It does.
Anywhere from $100 to $5 or free. And then once you get your popularity of your film, then that's when you can start distributing. Okay, no one's about your film if it's not popular. Let's keep it real.
You're using a lot of your money to travel? You're not like...
Oh, no, they would like pay for my hotel.
Okay.
And then it depends how bad they want the movie. I mean, they can film it, but a lot of film festivals prefer to have filmmakers there, depending on how popular. If it's popular, hey, you know. So Texas flew me out, Miami flew me out, and Tijuana flew me out.
Oh wow!
And then LA, we all just drove down there or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to get that. Oh, we'll take care of you, sir. I went. Can I have Coke in the dressing room, please? Coca-Cola, you know.
Oh
no, not Coco. Oh. No, not Coke. He's like, oh, you got free Coke? No.
I mean, it is LA.
I was getting excited about my career.
How do I submit to that?
That's me.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
How do I submit to that film? I'm just.
Okay. So we got into. I submitted to 150 film festivals.
Dang.
And we didn't get into a lot. I mean, the cool thing's like I'll get an email for Freeway.
Yeah.
You know your submission info.
Your submission status has changed.
It's like
fuck! I didn't get it. Fuck you.
It's like Tinder for films.
Swipe. It is.
It is.
Swipe,
except
swipe
then
right.
you're like, oh, that's $60 down the drain.
And but the thing is, like, I didn't feel bad, honestly, because it wasn't my personal money. It was the money that I raised. So I didn't give a fuck. I was like, okay, if it's not my personal money.
Yeah, at that point, who gives a fuck?
Right?
Spending somebody else's money at that point.
No, like, you know what I mean? Like, we raised the money to be able to travel and be able to support Love Cecy. That was the whole point of our fundraiser. And whenever we didn't make it, I was like, okay, well, you know. But when it's your own personal money, when I did Team Padre, I wasn't making a lot of money to begin with, so I was very selective what to submit. But when I did Love Cecy, I just submitted whatever, because you know. But I was still like on a budget. I'm not gonna do $50. I did $60, $80 actually for Sundance. I knew I wasn't gonna get it, but it's like a needle in a haystack, dude.
Might as well.
I was like, fuck, you never know. And I got
you miss every shot you don't take.
That's true. And I got the email, I didn't get it. So I'm finally done with my 2 years. It'll probably be a 1 year film festival run, and then it'll be in 2 years. Grab a following, dude. Have social media, have a little Instagram page, post pictures of the film behind the scenes. People love that shit. Behind the scenes, clips. If you go on my Love Cecy Instagram, you'll see clips. I mean, I kept it going. Every week I had something going on for the film. It kept people interested, intrigued. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm in Thailand, I want to see the movie. Like, Thailand, fuck, you know? And so I got people from Japan want to see it. As an independent director or a writer or whatever, you have to promote your own shit. No one's gonna do it for you, dude. You gotta get your following. You have to get it out there. You gotta start promoting. When I was Sin Padre, I made my own flyers. Not made my own, but I made flyers, and I went to the mission, started passing out flyers. I have a movie coming out. It's premiering this Friday. I don't give a fuck. You don't want it? Okay, next. You know, I'll go to restaurants, taquerias, or just throw my flyers out there. You feel me? I made my own fucking website. I had a person that I was gonna hire, fucking $500 to make a website. I went through Wix. It's fucking hell easy. You just find your
just pick a template.
That's it. And then you pay a little extra to have the full name instead of having loveCecy.movie/wix/wix.com/ht.
Yeah, you just buy a domain and
it looks so professional, dude.
Yep.
I'm like, fucking did it on my own. I'm so proud of myself, dude. Like, now I'm a fucking webmaster and shit. Gotta fucking figure it out, you know.
You grow.
And
you said earlier, yeah.
With comedy, like, comedy can get you into acting can get you into podcast, you know, whatever. So you just gotta expand your horizons. Even when it comes to writing, you do more than just writing. You know, you direct or you act and you sing, and you know, it's good to be multi-talented in this industry as well. You know, because you're able to shift. I mean, acting was my first passion, so I'm able to tell my actors what I want and deliver it for them. So opposed to when you see certain films, there's certain actors out there that cannot. There's certain actors out there. There's certain directors out there who don't know how to ask their actor to deliver a line because they're not actors. So they depend on the actor to figure it out.
Like how to say
or how you want it to say it. Yeah. For me as an actor, I know as I'm writing, I'm acting in my head. I don't know how you write your films, but when I'm writing my dialogue, like, fuck you, bitch. No tears. You know what I mean? Like you just
that makes sense.
You portray your own characters, you know,
because you've mastered your personality, so you know what they.
Okay, for you, for filmmakers, for all you guys, especially you two. When you see your work on the big screen, like, how do you feel? Like, what's that feeling?
Like, we kind of talked about this on our year in review one. For me, it's a little like, because you're putting yourself out there, you know, that's you up on the screen there, and so sometimes it's like, I don't know if I can.
I always cringe. I cringe.
Yeah, I cringe. Like I was telling them in the year in review episode, we did a horror film, and it was about him like being tortured. He is tied to a chair and everything.
Where are these films at?
They're on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Frosted mini feeds.
It's on my website, iopvideo.com. Because it's on the business card I just gave you.
When we were friends on Facebook, I didn't get a chance to do research about it. Every interview that I do my best I can to do research. Yeah. But I deactivated my Facebook January 1st.
Okay.
I actually Googled you.
Yeah,
he's a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
and then but I even saw you on YouTube. I didn't find nothing on YouTube. I found something 7 years ago.
I took everything off.
Why?
Because I had a bunch of stuff that I told him I wanted to make one I took advice from a comedian.
Okay.
So if you have stuff out there, eventually, if you know, people that want to see it, they're like, oh, I saw it already. So just have them want to come see it live. It doesn't make sense, but it does. And I want to put out a quality video out because I have one that have no control to take it off anymore.
Where it's like something somebody shot with a cell phone at the back of the venue.
It was like third time doing stand-up. And it's like someone watched it in front of me a while back, and I'm sitting there like, you know, watching them watch me, and like they would laugh and then look at me, and I just felt very like, ugh.
Like I agree and I disagree.
Yeah.
On the whole,
me too.
I disagree in it to a point where, what if I live in New York City and I can't see your work?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not flying out there, but I have the opportunity to have you in my movie.
Yeah.
But I gotta see your work, so that's where it comes into having a reel.
Yeah,
I have an acting reel. It's on type in J. Francisco Lopez reel, and it's on there, and I'm not ashamed of my reel. I love, you know, whatever. I do get the whole comedy thing. It's like Broadway musical. That's what they don't put it on YouTube because you can't get a chance to see it. Yeah. But then again, it's like, are all your jokes going to be the same on the video that I'm going to see on YouTube?
Not always.
Probably not.
We actually filmed. He produced a video for me of a show that I did.
Okay.
And we have it available not on YouTube but on a different format.
Yeah.
And that's what I sent to like club producers, comedy club people.
Okay.
And that's just to get like, you know, like I want to get a better one out there.
See, he told you what worked for him.
Yeah.
When I was telling you earlier, I'm telling you what worked for me. It may not work for you. That's why you got to find your niche and what works for you. So he was already established to begin with.
Oh yeah.
You're not even established.
Right.
So
yeah.
It wouldn't even work for you to. That's why when I googled you, I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying?
Can't find anything.
People do Google.
Yeah.
So when I did Google you, I find nothing. So it says you're a comedian, but I didn't find shit that you're a comedian.
Right.
But now I know why you took your shit.
And that's why when you have like your show coming up, I'm gonna shoot a much better video of your set, so that way you can use it.
And if I'm a fan, I can like. People are depending on social media nowadays, dude. Like, so if I'm a fan, check him out. Here's the clip. Oh, there's no clip. So just here's an article on a newspaper. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't say much. Like
you're visual. You're a comedian. You're visual. So.
Are you still acting?
No, I'm not. I haven't acted since 2011.
Do you want to?
That was when I did the play with you.
Yeah. I stopped acting. I can't focus on doing multiple things.
Okay.
I gotta focus on one thing.
Okay.
If I'm doing a movie, I'm doing a movie. If I'm acting, I'm acting. I find acting more competitive now. It's not as fun as it used to be. Yeah. And I actually enjoy seeing my actors portray what I put out, and I like being behind the scenes. I do get my lynch where I want to run and fall down and scream and have the killer chase out there. No, Johnny, no. You know, I miss it. Yes. Do I want to do it anytime soon? No.
Okay. You're not one of those directors that has the trope of I'm going to be in all my movies, but hidden somewhere like Alfred Hitchcock. Is what I was thinking. But yeah.
Oh, I did.
Or Spike Lee.
Or Spike Lee.
I did for Scene Padre.
Oh, he did.
I not for Love Cecy. I did like a little background. I walked in the back. That's me. You know, I have my little cameo.
So when you watch like your performances back from when you're acting, do you cringe? Is it like,
There's some I'm really impressed. Like, wow, that was actually pretty good. And I did this TV show called Almost Got Away with It.
Okay.
It was a hit show on Discovery.
Oh.
I played a lead.
Is that one available anywhere?
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime, YouTube, and that was beautiful. I had someone on Australia hit me up. Oh my god, you did a good job, and then it's typical. I play like a typical black guy from Louisiana who murdered this cop, and you know, I just like a typical, but. It is what it is. It was a big, huge part of my career, and when I did it, I was proud of myself. But I did cringe, like, I don't look cute. Ew. You know what I mean? Like you just like,
yeah.
You know what I mean. Thank you.
Like when I look at the film he was discussing earlier, where I'm being tortured, I go, "Gosh, I was so fat."
Yeah,
well, see, for us, that was a weird experience because it's like it premiered at like this horror film festival. Like, this is the perfect environment for it. And then like the film before us is like they recreated a scene from Halloween, but it's with Curious George and the Man in the Yellow Hat, and we're like,
pretty different.
It's one of these where it's horror.
Oh,
but
not
it's
a comedy horror.
But it's like,
was it a comedy horror?
Yeah, that one was like a
family-friendly horror.
And so, like, all the films before us were like, oh my god, our production value is so much better.
You got
theirs.
torture porn playing.
like there was like we were like head and shoulders like above everybody else as far as like tone and production value and everything. And so, but it was one of those awkward things where I'm looking around, there's like little kids here, and people are like, oh, this is just like a fun little horror thing, and I'm just like, oh, we're like real horror. This
they had a PSA one that was supposed to be like the sleep apnea or something, some ghost visiting, and that was pretty terrifying.
I hate short films when they put them all together.
Yeah,
like some film festivals will do like 5 in 1 just to get out the way. Lucky for me, I didn't have to do that, so it was just like the film.
Yeah, it was just this awkward experience because everybody's laughing and there's little kids, everybody's having a good time, and then our film comes on and everybody's like uncomfortable and somebody gets up and leaves. I
had that before. The scene, one of the scenes in Scene Padre was really graphic, extremely graphic, and I had like 4 people, 1, 2, 3. I was like, like everyone was leaving and shit. It did make me feel some type of way. But I love. I'm not a comedian. I know you're a comedian, but when I write joke punchlines in my film, and I think it's funny, when I see the audience laugh, oh my god, that was funny. I made that up. That was me. Yeah. I wrote that. You know,
because then my fear is like a gag will come up and then nobody will react, and I'm looking around like,
no, you didn't get a joke. What the fuck?
You never did stand up?
No. I get asked that a lot.
Okay.
People think like
because you have like
I do the energy. I know I do. Yeah, but no,
yeah.
I do
have a lot of energy.
I do have a joke right now.
Yeah.
Okay. What do horses eat?
Hey.
And what does a gay horse eat? Hey. Okay, one more. What do you call a gay drive-by? A fruit roll-up.
Oh.
Get it?
I get it.
Okay, go. That's all I have.
Oh man.
A fruit roll-up. But have you ever had when you're telling a joke and no one's laughing?
I know you feel awkward. All the time. I've bombed more than I've succeeded, and that doesn't mean I'm a bad comedian. Right, it's just part of the thing.
Process.
I did.
If the comedy thing don't work out, you got a gig with the Taliban.
Okay.
The day that I went to do your music video, right before that, I had a comedy show in Oakland, and it was like a lot of. It was like a family-friendly kind of comedy show.
Okay.
And
are you dirty?
Yes and no.
Okay. Are you family-oriented?
Not really, but I can go kind of clean. You know. Okay. I don't use. I typically don't use cuss words. But
that's the best part. If you're not cussing, it's not funny to me. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah.
What's up, everybody? Fuck. You know, how everyone doing?
Yeah.
Shit. You know, like, yeah, you fucking cussed.
I can cuss. I can do. I mean, you know, I do a little. like some of the topic itself is dirty.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound dirty because of the words I choose. But I think for that audience, I was a little too dirty. I do joke about gangs.
Okay.
Because it's like a real story that happened, but I turned it into a joke and no one liked it. And then like 3 jokes in, it's bombing horribly. And then someone walks in and sits down.
That always helps when you involve the audience. Why are you fucking late, bitch? Everyone's laughing. Everyone's not laughing because you ain't laughing.
Actually, this is how I kind of turned it around at this point. When that person sat down, I was like, if you're just coming in, I just did all my best material, and then everyone laughed. And
it's like, that helped. Thank God you're late, man.
Yeah,
you saved my ass.
You saved my ass. And well, like, I mean, it's one of the best advice a comedian gave me is when you're bombing, learn how to bomb. Because when you learn how to bomb, you can ride that fucking wave, and eventually just, that's the advice that I got. It works. Like, if you're bombing, just keep going, and if it's funny in your head, don't change it because of how you think they're gonna like it. Just keep it the way you do it.
I always tell actors, what worked for me in my if I'm missing a line or whatever, was I took what's this class I took? It's acting, but it's
Drama?
not. No. Fuck.
Theory, something.
No, it's everyone comes together and they start putting up shit at the last minute and
improv.
That fucking helps, dude. Like, if you're doing a comedian and you don't come out, come out your fucking head and work. Just do it.
I've been asked to do improv by people who do acting class and stuff, and they said it's good to develop like material on the spot.
That helps.
Yeah.
One of my goals is to make an improv group. I know I've talked to Joaquin about it.
Do you only focus on Latinos, or you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
yeah.
I mostly like my own shit. And it's funny that the times that I bombed that was hilarious for me. I performed with one of my friends. He's open for Fluffy and all these other big guys. He takes me sometimes with him to open for him.
Oh, nice.
And we were on our way to San Jose. I picked him up in Oakland, and this dude smokes a lot. And
that helps us
for him.
Not
for me.
Dude, I can't function when I'm high.
Me neither. We smoked like 3 blunts on the way there, and I was driving. At one point, I felt like I couldn't move my leg.
Oh no!
And I was driving, and I was gonna tell him, but I don't want to I don't want to
scare him.
You don't want to worry him.
I don't want to worry him, so I just kept driving. So when we get there, I did a joke, and I did it, and then afterwards, everyone laughed, and I did it again. I was so high, I couldn't remember stuff, and I was freaking out. And then I did it again. I realized I did it again. I just ended my set. I'm done. I went to the bathroom and washed my face.
That don't work.
I was having a heart attack.
Me too. I don't smoke. I tried edibles. My friend of mine is fucking cunt. I love her to death. She always wanted me to get high. She's like, Jay, you're so funny. You're so outgoing. I want to see how you like when you're high. It's like, I can't, I don't want to smoke and I inhale it. And, well, there's a cookie. Like, what cookie? Like, snickerdoodle? It's like, no, it's a chocolate chip wheat cookie. I said, okay, fuck it, I'll try it. So she went to her brother's house. It was like a big ass chocolate chip cookie. It looked good. When I grabbed the cookie, it didn't smell like a cookie. It was just drenched in weed. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store right quick and I will come back. All right, cool. So I ate the whole cookie. I didn't think I'd have split it. So I had the cookie, and she came back. She's like, "Where's the cookie at?" We're supposed to share it. It was just
only one.
The one little ass cookie. She was like, "Did you eat the cookie?" I was like, "What?" So, and 45 minutes into it, I'm like, I ain't feeling shit. It's just hella whack. And bro, an hour fucking later, I remember my mouth being hella dry. And then I remember eating hella shit, but I couldn't taste it. It's weird. I was eating 5 tacos, 2 chicken, and a bowl of cereal, and I couldn't taste the food. And then my eyes were shot red, but my eyes weren't green. It was like apple green, apple. And I sat down the bottom of the stairs, and I felt like the little kid from The Grudge, and I was going up the stairs like that, and I sat down and laid down, and like this, and I saw a digital clock. And then the time was like this. It was just.
Oh yeah, you were way high.
So I was high for 3 days.
Oh dang.
3 days I was high.
You got really bad tolerance.
Real high. I had anxiety and shit. And, I remember talking to myself. I was reciting lines from La Bamba, Selena. And I was like,
you sure that was just weed?
I know.
It's LSD.
LSD and shit. And then And then went home the next day, and then I took Tylenol or whatever, and I wasn't supposed to take it because it made it worse or whatever.
Yeah.
So then the next day, I was able to eat. I was like, okay, I can taste the sour cream and shit. And then the second time I got high, I actually smoked it. Yeah. But I didn't know that you're supposed to take a little hit. Can you do that? You're inhaling it more. So I did that. Oh, it was the worst time to do it. I was going to a concert. Fuck, dude. So I took a little, two. I kept coughing. I went to the bathroom. I swear to God, dude, I was taking a shower. I felt I was butt naked, right? Taking a course, right? But it was cold water, and I felt like I was in a rainforest in Amazon. That's what I was like that.
Shawshank Redemption.
Right. And then I got dressed, and I kept panicking because my friend was coming to pick me up. I'm not ready. Like, what am I going to do? And I was just so paranoid. And I sat down, and I kept eating bread. Oh, my God. So now, I don't do weed anymore, but when I'm high, I'm not in control. Does that make sense? When I'm drunk, I know my limit. I know what works for me. I know my Jack Daniels and my ginger ale. And I take 2 shots. I'm a lightweight. So when I take my 2 shots, I know how much, it depends. If I don't eat before. If I don't eat before, me 3 shots. I'm good, But I prefer drinking over getting high.
Yeah.
So do you drink when you go on stage or?
Not anymore.
Why?
I used to. That's why I also deleted those clips.
You were
drunk as fuck, and I didn't care.
That's the whole point.
I know, but like I don't know. I remember, I almost got beat up one time after because this wasn't on film, but I went to do a show in Monterey, and I was doing this joke that I had never even thought of till I was on stage. A lot of times that happens. I think of stuff right there, and I just kind of and I was really I was drunk, and I it was a joke about how Planet Fitness, I don't even remember, it was like Planet Fitness is for like fat people who
on their pizza,
like they're reliving PE, and then 24 hours like for a real gym. I forgot what the punchline was, but this chubby girl yelled,
hella sensitive and shit.
Yeah.
Why are you here, bitch?
She was like, no, it's not. I go to Planet Fitness, and then I looked at her, and all I said was exactly. And then I kept going, and I forgot, and then after the show, her dude that came up to me, and he was just like something, and I was just like fuck you, and I just left. But I don't remember what the joke was even about. I was just it was just
to me when you scream out like that, I'm assuming that you're part of the joke. I go to Planet Fitness. I didn't think you would take it sensitive. Right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I hate when people do that.
That
why are
you?
Do you go inside or you just sit in the lobby?
Right. Why are you taking the joke seriously?
That happened. And I hate it when they book a comedy show at a place where they're not expecting comedy. So we did a show. Oh no, you weren't there. It was a show at a pizza place, and there was a lot of people for the show there, but there was people that weren't for the show, and there was these old school cholas in their 50s. They were sitting together, and I do this joke about Tupac, and he's talking about Tupac. That's all I heard. I was like, oh shit. And then they were talking about me, and they were saying something, and then I do another joke about the Raiders. And then that's when they were like, "Oh, what is he saying about the Raiders now?" They were right there.
I'm like, "Shut up, bitch!"
And one of them got up and said something, but I couldn't hear. And all I said was, "I think this bitch is casting a spell on me." And then everyone laughed at her, and then they got their stuff and left.
See, okay,
but that's all I said. I was just like, it was fucked up though.
When I did acting, the one thing you never want to do, for me anyways, is looking at the crowd.
Yeah.
Because it'll throw me off. So I was doing this scene. I was looking at this lady. And she like this. I was like, ugh, bitch. And it threw my game, my character. I was like, fucking cut. And I thought, in my mind, I can't even talk because it's like, fuck. I went back crying and she don't like my acting.
It hurts. It hurts.
Secretly, it hurts.
That's why I get fuck them. If you see, I personally like to look at everyone's eyes.
Oh, to each their own. I just can't. Yeah.
I know Gaspar. I don't know if you look at people's eyes, but
absolutely.
Okay.
It doesn't throw me off at all, whether I'm acting or stand up.
It throws me off.
Yeah.
Because I not care. I guess care what people think, and to me, it's like if they're smiling, I know they're having a good time. If they're not, then it throws my game off. I don't know.
And that's what I look at that too. Sometimes I've been to shows where they're just like this. I did it.
Right.
I went to a show. It was a biker club a biker gang kind of thing, and that was hard. Like, do you remember that show?
Yeah.
It was just everybody was like this, with beards, and like, oh shoot, yeah.
Like, you're not funny. It's like,
I want to kill you after the show.
Okay, what car are you at? What car at Uber?
Oh man, well, dude, thank you again for coming down, so much. Man. Appreciate it. We were like what, 4 hours?
There were 3. A little over 3.
A little over 3. This has been like one of my favorite episodes.
No, I can talk. That's the problem.
No,
clearly,
clearly. Hey, it's been a good conversation.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. Like you said, doing this is a lot of things that you kind of reconfirm because you're doing it.
Right.
You know, it's like, I mean, I'm doing some things too.
We're all doing something, regardless if it's.
You've been doing it for longer.
I have, but I don't like comparing what I've done for myself. Anyone can do. Yeah. You just gotta push yourself out there and just proceed to make it work. I know you mentioned earlier about not having like people to go to, like like
big network.
Like you have to do it yourself. You have to, that's why I don't want to depend on these guys. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna do their own thing. So you need to like promote yourself, get yourself out there, make business cards, expand your social media, or make a Facebook page just for writing or whatever, and then meet strangers. That's what I did, and then you just make good friends, good friendships, and all my film festivals that I've done to premiere my movie, I've did connections. The film festivals that if there's like a film festival that's coming up, hey, I'm a filmmaker, writer, can I looking for any volunteers this weekend? Any film festival, that helps you get you out there even more. Yeah. You're not going to make it if you sit home doing nothing.
Right.
So, yeah. And expand your horizons. I hate when my friends and family like, oh, I love your movie. Okay, how about you? I don't know who you are. You see my movie? Because friends and family are going to support you no matter what. You know what I mean? And
I fall in line with you on that.
And we get strangers DMing me. I saw your movie, inspired me. I cried. It brings a joy to my heart. Like, yeah, your friends will go see you comedy show because they know you're hella funny. But to have a random person like, dude, you're actually funny. Like, oh my god, like.
I had that happen this year where like strangers show up,
right? And
it was like awesome because like I don't want to keep boring my friends with some of the same jokes, so you got to get others that don't know you.
So I would definitely to like your whole podcast like adventure it out to different people around the world. You just never know who's gonna listen.
Yeah,
like you said, Canada, right? What the fuck? Like I didn't think my movie would go to Ohio, but it went to Ohio. Or to Spain, or so. Yeah. But thank you guys for having me.
Oh no, thank you for coming down.
It meant a lot.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And, hopefully we'll see you again. Maybe at the lowrider thing.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Hey.
All right, everybody. We're out.